Kusile malanga lamahle weki welcome ehlelweni Kusile breakfast show ngoya lesihlanu siyanivusela malanga lamahle siyathemba ukuthi nivuke kahle nalomuhla niyaphepha nawo umkhuhlane COVID-19 lihlelo Kusile breakfast show lethela ngumsakade wedithombe Eswatini TV dinsuku tilishumi nakune kwenyanga yenkwekhweti umnyaka wa 2021 libito lami ngingisamngeliswe ngakakhoza nalomuhla ukhona magwabani
ngiyaphila sesikunjani
ngiyaphila no
yeah ngilele kahle eshayile Manchester uzosayibula
Shafo.
Yeah, Shafo. Basilama magolana ngiyakhumbula ngasi Liverpool agcina kwashaya ku 1962 magola ngaka lamaningi
History has been made.
Old Trafford 4
happy.
Yeah, happy. Ukusiya sidiviseleke vele nembala kungilesihlanu you are taking things nice and easy. Kanti ke le tinsuku lomhla nje obathi ngi14 enyangeni yenkwekhweti lilanga ke lomhla lesi 134 kuzele malanga la 231 bongo suphele eminyaka losetulu ngolesihlanu ngos20 kulomnyaka wa 2021 liviye lesi19 esilephethako kule mpela sondelena bongosi singena nje samkelisiwe indzaba lenkulele eGaza simo simadimi ngakhumbula itolo kufe 9 civilians nelisotsha linye lase Israel kwese sekwenda defense minister wase Israel abite nakulithiwa ngema reserve troops along 9000 usekufuna ukubambana ngetihluthu nale Hamas usho konasi kanti iUN Security Council ngelisonto itaba nemhlangano ukuyokhulumisa lendzaba le bekufanele umhlangano ube namhla eAmerica yaba ya object utakubanja ngelisonto uyokhunyiswa lendzaba yase Israel nale Palestine but if now the minister can recall 9,000 soldiers it means this means getting out of it's war they are preparing for warfare.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest fights like abakhona since they are in 2014 lokubhlungu magabane ukuthi from the letinhlango setotimbili ngoba ngithu they are willing ukuthi if there is war let's just go ahead kube yini and uyasho mhlahlangene ukuthi kubhlungu lemvula enteka ko but Israel unelilungelo lekudi defender leyo ke linkhathathe kakhulu exactly unelilungelo lekudi defender which means akakhiphe yonke imbola tonke tikhala nato ati defender defend bamvu besive sakhe
bekule senator itolo eAmerica beyikhala na deliver speech sayo ngalendzaba lenteka lapha eGaza ngoba nasuyalandzela abanye vele they are for Israel abanye
German ushito nje for Israel.
Yeah, so as indzaba lebhlungela ngoba ilimata nebantu laba nganaqala bona nakutawufa ngelanga kwanze sikufa 10 webantwana bantwana abancane so inako lobhlungu balendzaba lela kanti kwemane kuyakhulunyiswana kubona lesisombululo sithini kunalokho lokuchubeka kusa
besicabanga ukuthi maybe imvota bese tithi maybe kwehlahehla kulandzela phela lama strikes labe khona on Wednesday lapho khona bathi several of the Hamas leaders commanders now are amongst the ones labashile emhlabeni exactly so asade makwaba nethi kusho kuthini look at this moment
kanti Israel nje ngiyakhumbula ukuthi sebalungise kubomba namhla nakusasa ema government houses nema office ahulumende ngoba bathi labantu beHamas babhaqala so basike batawubuilda tonke nje takhiwe tahulumende letikhona lapha so kwevele yimpile le ngabe angeke inbese sididela 30 will war
ngileyo le question natavela emavenje athi it's okay Israel defend yourself we are on your side uyayibona lemvo ukuthi sekukhona la yakhona we are hoping ukuthi mhlahlangene utokhona magwabane kuyekhuda njengoba saqalile kuyikhuda ukuthi ibese ibangilele abaphansi kanti lapha ehleleni Kusile breakfast show lomuhla kungilesihlanu ushito umlingane ukuthi we are taking things nice and slow njengoba ngabe lesihlanu sivame kuba nayo ama artist noma an author elangeni lamuhla ke sabe sinayo umbhali wetincwadi lapha eVenda Eswatini nothile ngikhambule sokubhala ngetincwadi letimbili magwabane fictional books lasho khona ukuthi uletha nje isithombe sekuthena umuntu lo visionary yakhona ku imaginative and then bring the characters to life
ang educate kwami ngikhule ngalibukela nelifilimu i-fiction ke jaya into le jaya
lo kungasiko lo ukucabangile yebo angisho besingilile ukukhuluma about i-journey yakhe her life yebo and then lena ku some sort of film vele lesencwadi
yini ama-film nako ubukela bomancomo mbona mancomo the film lo kunemuntu bamshaya ngenhlavu kuba ngasuka la ayoyijosi
kunamashanda lahlukene phela yebo kunalabo action kunalabo sci-fi kunabo drama kwahlukahlukene yebo but konke kuyi-fiction
but umuntu umshayela ngenhlavu ayoyijosi Kusile indzaba lesithathu indzaba nje lebhlungwana sitabe sinithathele emsakado Giyani Msibi indzaba lebeka ilenzelela samkelisiwe kunebantwana labantwana bahamba ngcono lokho kumakhata nje bakhanze bahamba ngcono bangakaqoqi utholeke kuthiwa lekhuluma nama kwabo nema social workers athembisele usebenzaba la hamba yolandzela I'm just failing to understand sinakumakhata kanje la ke umntwana uhamba njani ngcono
kuyasala magwabane kithi thine sibadali ikakhulu kade thine lesingathi sisebasha kuyasisalela kakhulu emuva enzabeni yekunaka abantwana singasho kule ukuthi mina ngingathi nje nginemfana ngingaka ngitshele ukuthi ngisesemncane but at the same time responsible for lo move ukufuna bese sengiyashintsha indlela lese ngenta ngayo timvo indlela lese diningi timvo letafanele empilweni maybe ngisale ngitithiba kudo kuze phela ngitshela ukuthi sekunana abamfuna bale kufuna ukuthi ngibabeke empini vele kuyasalela kakhulu kade thine lesi singathi sebamvula basha
bokosika nsikele indzaba lephilungu lechubekako emhlabeni indzaba yase-India 44 countries la reportile nyalo sekanayo le Indian variant le ka sebamcelele ke na WHO kusala declare ukuthi it's now a global emergency le variant yase-India na minister South Africa bengimlalela samitolo asho in certain provinces let them prepare for a third wave. Yes, basangangeni third wave, but in my provinces in South Africa like the KZN
and your Gauteng lesaqalile labo avela ema cases lamanyende kakhulu.
Kanti le Indian variant itholakele ku KZN. So we need to brace ourselves nanathi ngalanga khatsefe.
Kunjalo magwabane kubhlungu kakhulu because ema vele vekathi le Africa sekacale nayo ayitfola. Sisho ukuthi iningizimu Africa kule weekend lesibuya kuyo evikini leliphele bekungikhinya na Uganda. Sibone just on Wednesday sesijoyine Morocco. That's 4 countries in Africa. Kuyasethusa kakhulu.
Bobo se ngu7 minutes after 6 asibahlole ke market nasibuya sasanza bathe qala talo mhla eksene watching the Friday edition of Kusile Breakfast Show.
I mean, God had to go at me a number of times before I finally swallowed this. Because we just have such a wrong mindset about what God expects out of us. And you know what religion is? Religion is what we think God expects out of us instead of us looking at what He's done for us. We have worth and value not because of what we do, but because Jesus died for us. Because we're no better than anybody else. Anything that we are that in Christ, or we're nothing at all. And I enjoy ministry so much more now. I'm so comfortable, and I love God, and I like myself, and I don't care what you think about that, but I just like myself. I spent enough years hating myself. I'm done with all that. Amen.
Siseka uvuseleleke wakheke emoyeni ngomculo wetenkolo bahlabeleli balapha eSwatini. Sikulethele abahlabeleli abadala nabo lapha sikhula emculweni wetenkolo bahlabela bukhoma lapha eSwatini. Siphinde sixoxisane kabanti ngalaba kwentako emsebentini wabo wekuhlabelela igospel konke kungidinisa simakathe. Ungaphutheka ngomculo wegospel khona lapha eSwatini TV. We praise, to God be the glory.
There's so much to learn and see in the kingdom of Eswatini.
Futhi sikhuthata kona ukuthi nawe wati live lapho kabandi nalokuthi lokwendekako lapha eveni la kaNgwane. Namambala uyabona mbukeli ukuthi indalo is a beautiful thing. Ubukhulu baNkulunkulu buyabonakala ngendalo.
Malanga lamahlelo sehlelweni Kusile breakfast show kungiyele sihlanu kulesikhathi manje sefula tindzaba tecalata nomhla ekseni. Inkonzo lenyungu legujwe live esomphende sive kalobamba ihlanganise emakholo etinhlelo letahlukahlukene. Kanti kule nkonzo okuthandazelwe emakhosi elive kwancisela nelive ukuthi lincobe tinsaya lelibhekene nato. Kanti emakhosi bekamelwe ngumthane inkosi longokhela.
Siyobheka thina siyobheke Njalo ngemuva kwamalanga lange-40 sekugujwe inkonzo yokuvuka kwaJesu, emakholo agubha lenye inkonzo lebalulekile lokuyinkonzo yokwenyuka kwakhe. Inkonzo lebalulekile lena enkolweni yeKristu njengoba kuyinkonzo lekhomba ukuthi Jesu nangemambala wawuphetha umsebenzi lebeka utele emhlabeni nekuthi wakuncoba kufa kuvuka kwakhe kwaphawula ukuthi utawujinga yaphile ingunaphakade. Amakholwa etinhlelo letahlukahlukene asebenzise lenkonzo yabalithuba lekuthandazela live njengoba lisathi khotha emanceba emkhuhlane iCovid-19. Kule nkonzo emakhosi elive bekamelelwe ngumfana enkosi longokhela kanti le nkonzo beyingenelwe nabantu abenkosi. Befundisi bethulethe inshomayelo lebetinothile sibili kanti laba kube ngumake elungile nkomo umbishop Paul Shabangu nempostoli Madudu Mabuza. Inkundla ivulwe nguye make elungile nkomo loshumayela ngemphumela yokwenyuka kwakhe Jesu Kristu.
Kwenyuka kwaJesu ulandzela emagama kwekuthi kuphelele. Bese awuphelelisile umsebenzi lebeka utele emhlabeni. Kude nakunye lokwakumele akwende emhlabeni langazange akwende. Ngakho kwenyuka kwakhe kwakusho ukuthi sowuqedzile lokulebeka utele lapha emhlabeni.
Umbishop Paul Shabangu uyaleli bandla ukuthi lihambe ngemandla langiwo lekumandla lavela kuNkulunkulu njengoba lawo mandla angaphelelwa nasikhathi. La mandla the power lokufanele wathole avela kumdali lowadala tibane tekukhanyisa telizulu. Kanzi umpostoli Madudu Mabuza uyale eMaswati ukuthi angawutsebesela umsalo wathola live laseswatini kuNkulunkulu lowamisa ukuthi sive samaswati sive lesikhethekile. Nakade udalwa Jesu kudalwa kwaJesu lesiye sikucelebrate 25 December. Bekungasilo lelilanga lekuqala. What angakadalwa besavele safile. What ethuneni. What angakavula ethuneni uyasavela senyukele kwesokunene saNkulunkulu. Uyasabeka. Uyikhonyama. Wembethe amandla wambatha njengengubo. Usuka emaphakatheni emaphakatheni. Emehlo akhe avutha njengesidlwana. Emlonyeni yakhe kusuka imisebe lilanga. Uyabaneka umbane. Etandleni takhe kusuka imisebe lilanga. Tinwele takhe timhlophe tinjengangoqwana. Ingalela unyawo lwentakhe inyawo takhe lifana neligolide nelithuse ledlulise emlilweni. Elukhala lakho ubethe iqiniso wambatha kulunga nekwethembeka. Akanayo inkhohliso. Akasiphathanga sithuthi seguquka. Akasiyo yona intwathana yemuntu. uNkulunkulu waphakathe uJehova sebawodwa. Thanini uyasabeka namhlanje ekuseni. Asimemete thanini uyasabeka uNkulunkulu. Uyasabeka. Inkonzo ephethwe ngemthandazo loholwe ngumake emelile Gwebu lokuthi telive alimesibinzi liqine njengoba esimakathe utawulilwela alincobele angenelele nalapho sekukhanya ukuthi impi yaFaro ita ngemandla kumiswe onkeke emasu lwangahle yaphekwe ekumisa live kabi kwabiyelwa nawe emakhosi elive ngemthandazo kanjalo nalo lonke live jikelele netinkhalo talo lobika kwetindzabeni ngisandile makhanya esonfeni lesive kalobamba.
Egameni lesilo semhlaba ingonyama inkosi Mswati wesithafu losabambe kuba ngundvunankulu umhlonishwa Themba Masuku sondleliso somlayido wayo ingonyama inkosini yelivele besufu lethi wesithafu. Masuku ube nemhlangano nenkosi lethi esigodlweni eMaseru. Masuku uphinze waba nemhlangano nandvunankulu welive leLesotho Dr. Mokwetsi Majoro lapho babambe inkulumo teqinisa buhlobo nebudlelwane balamave lamabili. Masuku kulela live ke undleliso somlayido lomgcoka losuka kuso silo loyenkosini live leLesotho. Lobambe kuba indvuna yetiko leti-70 nenhlala kahle yato Pholile Shakhantu uthi kunelikomiti leselibeka ngekwemtsetfo letabuka kusebenta kwemifolamphilo lemibili kuleli letawucwaninga simo sempilo salabo labake basebenta etimayini eveni labo makhelwane eNingizimu Afrika. Imvuna ithi lokhu kutawusita ukuthi bakhone kuzuza isikhwameni sekuncephetelwa lesivulwe kulela live.
Kulandzela kukhala lokube khona enhlanganweni yalabo labake basebenta etimayini eveni labo makhelwane eNingizimu Afrika kuthi abanakekeleki kahle lobambe kuba indvuna yelitiko leti-70 nenhlala kahle yato Pholile Shakhantu uthi hulumende wenda yonke imitamo yekucinisekisa ukuthi inhlala kahle yabo nalabo labasasebenta inakeka ngendlela lefanele.
Kuthi baclaim, we know that there was a 5 billion settlement kule case lebekhona eSouth Africa. Kunemaswati ke la kumele a benefit kuleyo settlement sekwakhiwe ke isikhwama bahlonishwa lesingisona ke isikhwama emaswati atawubhadalwa kiso lesisakusebenta abahlonishwa kunelikomiti ke that we've just gazetted lelifaka ekhathi wona lama ex minors kanye nelitiko kulungisa clinics lekuwona kumele lama mine workers angene kuwo lama clinics bendiwe ma assessment bese lama reports ke sengibona ke la tawu facilitator ukuthi bathole imali yabo. ISouth Africa itawube ita eveni labo lababukele isikhwama kuto accredit lama clinics ethu lenye kaManzini lenye ikaHlathi but wa accredit ke once those clinics are accredited then lawo maswati ke satawu khona ukuthi athole kuncephethiselwa kuleso sikhwama. Bangibekisele ke office ukuthi there's about 7,000 wemaswati that will likely benefit from that fund.
Indvuna iphinze yaveta ukuthi bashayeli bemaloli labakulela live labalinganiselwa ku-5,000 nabo kuphepha kwabo hulumende ukuhambisa embili. Uthi litiko letangaphandle lokhu liyaqinisekisa njengobe kulamalanga lihlele kubamba imihlangano kubukwe ukuthi bangasidakala kanjani. Itindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla ngisezulwini.
Zefania Nkambule sewuphinze wakhethwa kuba ngumeya welidolobha laseMbabane elikhethweni lebelibanjwe emahhovisini amasipala walo lelidolobha ngalesithafu Nzambama. Nkambule uphumelele ngamavoti lasithupha kanti lo bekagcizelene naye Sikhumbuzo Dube lebekangumeya eminyakeni lophelile yena uthole emavoti lamane.
Njalo ngeminyaka emadolobha abanelikhetho lwameya, lidolobha laseMbabane libe nalo likhetho ngalesithathu eNzambama lapho khona loyo lowake waba ngumeya eMahlandla Zefania Nkambule aphumelele ngemavoti lasithupha kanti Sikhumbuzo Dube lobe yangumeya eminyakeni lophelile uthole lamane lapho bekuvota emakhansela aseMbabane la10. Nkambule uthi asangena ehhovisi utawuqinisekisa ukuthi usebentela ukuthuthukisa impilo yetakhamuti telidolobha leMbabane.
Sibonga nje ukuthi kuhambe kahle wabathe emsindo wakhethwa ngendlela efanele ngale nqubo yakhona kwendeka ukuthi umuntu waphumelele kodwa nje umuntu langakusho ukuthi sibheke ukuthi sisebenzisane neMbabane likakhulu siyathi ukuthi banemanxeba laba nge-COVID-19 kuyadinga ukuthi sibeketelelane ngoba lesimo lesi asikedluli endemthelela yaso iyabonakala ukuthi setawuthatha isikhathi. So ke kufuna ukuthi iMbabane sisebenzisane nabantu sikhumbule ukuthi siyabadinga sibambisane nabo ngoba siyathi neproject ayikendluli.
Nkambule utawuhlala ehhovisi umnyaka munye. Nkambule usuka esikhundleni sekubalisekela la meya. Eminyakeni lophelile kubebede likhetho lwameya kuleli dolobha ngenxa yemkhuhlane i-COVID-19. Sikhumbuzo Dube ubambe kuba ngumeya kusukela ngeminyaka wanga-2019 kuya eminyakeni lophelile. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla nginamusi Mkhonda eMbabane.
Umfundzi lo wenta tifundvo tekuba ngumbelekisi eNyuvesi yase Southern Africa Nazarene University, lomchelemsibi ukhutsata abafundzi labatawucedza esikolweni ukuthi batingenele tifundvo tekuba babelekisi, ikakhulukati ngoba basashoda lapha eveni kanti sidzingo sabo sikhulu. Nomchele uthi kubita kutimisela nekuba nesineke kude make neluswane baphile ngalokuphelele.
Nakugujwa lusuku lwebahlengikati ngalesibili kuleli viki, umfundzi lo wenta tifundvo tekubelekisa nomchelemsibi lofunza eNyuvesi Southern Africa Nazarene University lobeka ingcenye yalo msebenzi uthi la kufundzile asenta letifundvo kuletinye tetibhedlela kuleli kunakekela make kusukela aseta esibhedlela asetethwele ati ayobeleka solo anakekelwa kude umntfwana abelekwe aphilile namake aphile lekakhutsata abafundzi labenta tifundvo tekubelekisa ukuthi babe nenhlitiyo lutsandvo basenta lo msebenzi.
Kuyinjabulo kakhulu kubelekisa make umbelekise athole umfana lophilile nalo healthy nalo kahle kanjalo nakumake kuyinjabulo, so si celebrate ema victories la kanjalo ukuthi elithubeni lengilitholile ngisesengumfundzi ngikhona ekuniketwa lithuba lokuthi ngingabelekisa ngingaphindze futhi ngiyende nalokunye ukuthi ngikhona ukuthi nginakekele bomake kanye nebamfana uma basesekhona emtholampilo noma lapho lababelekela khona ukuthi noma ngabe ngikuphi la chamuka nako make noma ngangikuphi la chamuka nako umfana nginikiwe lwadi lengilidingako ukuthi ngikhona ukuthi ngimnakekele naye aphume ajabulile kanye nemfana wakhe. Kulosafuna nje kwenta le course lengiyendako imidwifery ngamkhuthatha kakhulu ukuthi i-course lenhle kakhulu, it is very amazing, ikakhulu ngalokuthi esikolweni uniketwa lonke lwati lolidingako kude lokwenza ukuthi utimisele kude longeke ukhone ukwenda uma sowufika efieldini sowusebenza uyabona ukuthi kuhle kakhulu loniketwa kona seyakhona noku-apply.
Nomchele uthi la kubonile kushoda kwabahlengikati lekusikhala lokumele sivaleke kude kunciphe kusishiya emhlabeni kwemntwana namake uma abeleka. Etindzabeni namuhla kubika Giyani Msibi ngisembabane.
Umphathi wemaphoyisa William Dlamini uthi nalo lahle emhlane kumaphoyisa labonakala kulenye ivideo emakhasini abongqongo mchina ahlukubeda lenye lijaha bekalibopha. Embikweni la ufubelele betindzaba Dlamini uthi emaphoyisa kabheki ukuthi aphathe sive ngalendlela ngisho noma ngabe loyo mumvu ungumsolwa endzabeni ithide.
Kuleli viki kuvele titfombe letitfwebuliwe etinkundleni tekuchumana lapho khona kubonakala emaphoyisa ahlukumeta indvodza letsite. Umphathi wemaphoyisa William Dlamini sewusigcekile lesento wathi lamaphoyisa lakuletitfombe letitfwebuliwe abonakala sekalahlekelwa similo. Uthe emaphoyisa ayaceceshwa ngetindlela tekumelana netimo letilikhuna senda umsebenzi wawo. Dlamini uchubeka uthi baholi bembutho wembube abahambisani nani nekuhlukunyetwa kwesive nakusaliwa nebucala. Uthi lesento salamaphoyisa lakuletitfombe siphambene nemigomo yekusebenta kwembutho wembube nesive. Uthi sebavele basetikwayo indzaba yekuphenya ukuthi yini leyende ukuthi lamaphoyisa atiphathe ngalolu hlobo uma lolu phenyo seliphelile batawukwenda siciniseko sekuthi athathelwa tinyathelo letifanele. Dlamini uthi kusebenzisa imagama la yedletako imaphoyisa nakenda umsebenzi wawo akukho nani emgomeni wekusebenta kwabo. Ugcine ngekucwayisa imaphoyisa ukuthi awuyekele umkhuba wekusebenzisa imagama la yedletako kanye nelidlame yasasebenda nesive njengobe lokungolokholela ekutheni sive singawathembi emaphoyisa. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Nelisiwe Nhlangamandla yembabane.
Inhloso yokusekela emabhizinisi ebantfu labasha lapha eveni, inhlangano lefundisa abantwana besikolo ngetebhizinisi i-Junior Achievement seyicala ihlelo litawusekela abantfu labasha ngemali ekusukumisa imicombo lekhaliphile yemabhizinisi abo. Ngekusho kwasiphesihle Nkwanyana lobukete kuchumana nekumaketha ka-JA, Kwanyalo batawusekela abantfu labasha labengamashumi 5.
Inhlangano lefundzisa abamfana besikolo ngetemabhizinisi i-Junior Achievement ibambisene nenhlangano yakamhlaba lebuketa indzaba telinani lebantfu emhlabeni i-UNFPA seyisukumise uhlelo lokusekela abantfu labasha ngelwati lwetemabhizinisi kanye nolusito lokusungula lawo mabhizinisi. Siphesihle Mkhonda welihlangothi lotekumaketha nekuchumana enhlanganweni yaka-JA uthi kutawuba ngemabhizinisi lanebuciko labatawayisekela.
Sitoklomelisa labantwana ema startup capitals, so ema seed capitals for their businesses. UNFPA sisemkhankasweni wokuthi sisite umuntu lomusha mhlambe lo tawuze athi khanze asa exposed at inventable sexual reproductive but khanze sebangene kuma drugs, so si provide entrepreneurship thine kuvala lesikhala sekuthi umuntu lomusha ngathi khanza mhlambe seka abusekile ngendlela lethide. So le angel investor ke ibuka leyo component leyo ukuthi asite phela labantwana lesiba train les junior achievement sine database ke vele lebuyele emuva kubo 2007 2008 nasicala ngiyo le lesibuka kuyo ukuthi umuntu lomusha akavele phela mhlawumbe longakakhoni ke university longakakhoni kwenda anything nangabe unayo le business le innovative locabanga ukuthi futhi itawuba nelikusasa uyakhona ku-apply. Sifakile ke lama applications ethu ku social media bethu, uyayithola na website yethu. You can come to our offices nanyalo uthole ma forms uyigcwalise. I deadline yethu ngo 19 May. We are looking at 50 young people for this quarter labato khona ukuthi basitakale.
Ngekusho kwelihlelo lwemasu uhulumende lwalwethulile lokuvusa umnotfo bamfula basha bakha 37.5% wesive semaswati. Lolu hlelo lolu lutawudlala inzima lebonakalako ekuthenini insha ikhone kutakhela amathuba emisebenzi. Etindzabeni kubika Sondomlangeni Titfombe Ngumuzi Mkhonda eMbabane.
Kuba betegesi isikhathi lesingaba ngetulu kwenyanga enkundleni yaseMochana sekwende ukuthi imisebenzi yenkundla ime ingachubeki. Imvuna yenkundla yaseMochana Nigel Shongwe uthi sibayibike emahlandla lenzaba emagesini kodwa solo abasitakali.
Kusukela mhla tingamashumi enyangeni yeNdlovulenkulu kulomnyaka losedulu sakhiwo semsebenzi yetandla lesiphinze sisetshenziswe inkundla yaseMochane sanjelwa ngugesi ngetinsolo kwebiwa kwelipipe noma ke tinsambo zide kulendzawo kodwa kube ngumanje solo kumnyama lesikuthonsisa kametima nabosomabhizinisi abancane lebasebentela kulesakhiwo kanti ke kungumanje basebenta ngama generator ngoba ke kuyabadulela phinze ke sokumisenzi yonke imisebenzi yenkundla. Induna yenkundla eMochane Nigel Shongwe ithi seyibike emahlandla lenzaba emagesini solo ke nani kusitakala.
Base bayeta ngalo langa labathi beta ngalo bafike balungisa kwakhanyelwa letakhamuthi tethu lethi ngephandle kwalesakhiwo sine zasale bomnyameni kwabethe ke izathu abasitshela ukuthi nineke senisala ngephandle nisalelani la kulesakhiwo lesinenkundla ngoba kude kunamhlanje kulesikwatiko. Waphinza futhi ngalithatha lethuba ngabiyela emagesini ngafike ngasike sengicela ukukhuluma nemphathi bangilayela babemamba sahamba sakhuluma naye emagesini kwakumsombuluko kuleliviki eliphelile wathi hayi shoke ngitawufika ngalesibili bo after lunch ngagatsa ngalesibili sagatsa sabona ilanga lishona kwaphinza futhi kwavela ilanga elilandzela ngalesithathu athi kumbe umuntu omdzala ukhohliwe wangethe wavela lesine wangethe kwathi ngalesine sihamba ngabiyela emagesini ngithi asengiyohlola ukuthi ngabe kubambeni ngathi nasengifika ke base lalabala reception noma base ba develop attitude ngathi kwase kwenteka base bangibuta ukuthi ngitokhuluma indzabe ethile athi lokho benzaba yagesi base indzabe yagesi tikhulunywa la kwangethusa ke mina lokho ukuthi hawu sesiyikhuluma amahlandla lamanyenti nabo lenzaba bangakhona ukungisita ngifikile nakuthandi lokho bangilayela umphathi ngabatshela yasichamne phela umphathi bekasidikibutha athi usilungisa lenzaba bengithi ngidolandzelela lokho kepha ke sengiyabona ukuthi kude lengingasithakala kawo nasenamhla senimendleleni ngase nje sengiyajika sengiyabashiya kunamhla lokho kude labake bakwenda.
Lokhulumela inkampani yemagesi ekhaya Mavuso simbuta ngalicingo ngalenzaba ucele ukuthi baphinze babuye bakhulumisane baphathe iref number lebanikwa yona lekwathiwa batawusebenta ngayo kusalungiswa lenzaba lekathi indvuna yenkundla atange sebanikwa leyo ref number. Mavuso uthi lokusolakala ukuthi kwebiwa babacacisela ukuthi kumele kuthengwa ngomnikati westandi noma ke uma ngabe sakhiwo sahulumende batshelwa ukuthi kumele bende njani akusiko ukuthi inkampani iyala kubakhanyisela. Etindzabeni kubika Giyani Msibingi eseMochane.
Sesingena etindzabeni temidlalo. Likhethelo lesive lemidlalo wematubane lema under 20 selibhekise amabomba even leBotswana kuyongenela imidlalo yema national championships lekubheka ukuthi idlalwe ngemgcibelo. Umqeqeshi waleli khethelo Muzi Mabuza uthi kungena lemidlalo kutabasita kakhulu labadlali ukuthi lizinga labo liphakame njengoba kutabe kwekucala ukuthi bamelele live emidlalweni yangaphandle.
Likhethelo lemidlalo wematubane ke lema under 20 ke selibhekise amabomba even leBotswana ke lapho khona ke batawungenela imidlalo yema national championships yakhona ke eBotswana letawudlalwa ngemgcibelo kuleli viki. Umqeqeshi welicembu-ke Muzimabuza ukuthi leli thuba-ke lekumele lalive lelitawusita-ke labadlali abancane-ke ukuthi bakhulise lizinga labo kulo mdlalo.
So these guys are all under 20 and they've been training together for the past 2 years. So now we're giving them the opportunity to go and start on the long-term journey. So this is their first international competition that they're going to go to, and we hope they are going to learn a lot from it. And I'm sure they are looking forward to it. And as a federation and myself as a coach, I'm looking forward to gauge them against the international big name.
Labadlali labaneke labahambile ngilihle Gininza, Ayanda Malaza, Menzi Msibi kanye naMenzi Mbingo. Menzi Msibi-ke lokhulumela iqembu yachaza ngenjabulo labanayo kubelela live.
Leli thuba leli into lenkulu kakhulu kids because kusiniketa i-preparation kwana nasikuze isitubonise isigubhu against bantu labangekho local because nasi eKenya siyabe sikhompyutha nebantu laba from other countries, so ngicabanga siloko lithuba lelihle kakhulu lokuthi sitivete nasiko ukuthi sikuphi if against bantu laba outside.
Kanzi ngakulokunye leli qembu-ke litawuhamba nengijimi lenkulu yalelive Phumlile Nzinisa lona-ke umenyiwe kule midlalo.
Lokho ngicabanga ukuthi kutangisita ukuthi ngibe nesikhathi lesibhetha for lama national champs ethu Eswatini national champs and then plus ema African senior champs and then siqhubekele sekuma Olympics. Ngicabanga lokho kutangisita kakhulu.
Kanzi Sibusiso Swazibholt Mathenjwa lokhomba kudlala kahle kulamalanga yena ukuthi awubhekisa amabombe eveni laseZambia ngalesihlanu lapho khona-ke naye umenyiwe kule midlalo ema-national championships yakhona. Lobikela umsakazo weSwatini TV kutemidlalo ngilinda Dlamini ana Fabrice Msonera.
Malanga lamahle sifika kanjalo kumaphethelweni adodini zabate ekucala dalo mhla ekseni kulesikhathi samanje siyayida idolo sibe siyachubeka nalo luhlelo Kusile morning.
In order to bring to life and to defeat and overcome the ongoing global pandemic coronavirus, food with a balanced diet plays a vital role. Eswatini TV brings to you a fresh season of Kudla Kwempilo to see how our farmers bring food to the nation, the challenges our farmers are facing in this pandemic, the struggle, the fight, the national lockdown, the intervention from the government to help our local farmers. Watch this first season of Kudla Kwempilo on Eswatini TV. Learn, be advised, and be inspired by local farmers and how they are making great changes in this era of COVID-19. Kudla Kwempilo, food for life.
Bosimelana nine labakhulu ngiyacela bompembe nilamule indzaba yesikhwama samkhulu
asikubulali lokumfana kwamajaha ine sebenzile singaka.
The pillar of the family falls, leaving behind a divine legacy.
Abaphansi sebamkhombile kufanele kuthatha isikhwama samkhulu simelana.
Now the question is, who among the family members will take it over?
Kusobala ukuthi lesikhwama ngesakho.
Cha maka, basengangikhombi laba phasi.
Oh, nayi imihlolo nemambalo yasangana uvumele emadimoni ukuthi adlale ngemfana ethu.
Instead of being inherited, it brings nothing other than sadness, anger,
Angiyoze lesangoma.
frustrations, all in one drama, Simanga.
Why should we pay our TV license?
The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for you. But we'll be right back just after the break and we'll give you more of Miss V.
Pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformation.
Man, who pays
a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and a gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Pay your TV license at NetBank with the details provided on screen. Or use your cell phone via the mobile money pay. You could also visit your nearest post office and pay there. Pay your TV license via Eswatini Mobile Imali. Any TV device retailer can purchase a license to trade. Pay your TV license and enhance the industry.
Bokose siyaqhubana naloko ehlelo lomhlekseni kungalwesihlanu sazavulela umsakazo wakho ubukela umsakazo wetithombe iEswatini TV sehlelweni Kusile breakfast show taking things nice and slow kule Friday morning sinasasele umsakazo Giyani Msibi is a former student wase Peak Central High School bengi head boy wakhe kana kaSafuthi unjani Msibi
siyavusela gole sivusele nababukele emakhaya wawu head boy esikolweni is nice kusephinze sikanye kanye
you best head boy ever.
Wawunayo lengqondo usesenayo which is a good thing.
Okay, Msibi bolanzela indzaba la babukeli labaningi batsinzile la ngelayitolo. Ngifuna nje siqale ngisi uyithola njani indzaba nayo bantwana asikakholwa nayo tsayoteka lendzaba ekseni senine bantwana abahamba ngcono. But ke naso uzochubeka nayo uyisebenta ibathusena labaningi le yaso basithina kuseneni how on earth can somebody end into efana nale.
Angicale kanjena LinkedIn imithetho yamhlabuhlangene lengamele emalungelo bantwana ithi bantwana banemalungelo futhi kumele bavikeleke kusukela umntwana adalwa akhule phansi kwesandla semtali noma ke sebatali bobabili athole tonke tidzingo leti basic. Nathi ke Eswatini kulo uyathu sinemthetho we-Children and Welfare Protection Act wangeminyaka wa 2012 unetingqongwana letinenge sithi uyachaza ukuthi umntwana ngumuntu loneminyaka kusuka ku0 to 18 years shows lapho usese under ikhe yemntali usangakakhona ukuthi provided LinkedIn sidonswa indlebe stawuthi ma consent residents and citizens ukuthi uyati ongemalanga nawe engcenzaweni yakumali yaduma nabo labahlala khona babona nje bantwana bahlala bangqono babhushuta imihla nemalanga kusemini kunzambanyana bahlala nje bangqona bagcoka kusebusika kusehlobo nyalo nami ngemzala lengithi nangicimbi nyalo ubusika emakhaya
bacimbi
kunebantwana naba ethombeni abakagqoka kodwa akasinanzelela abantwana bayahlupheka la ngiyaqaleke ngizake sengihobhele baphi batali bakhona batali futhi babo babili bahlala kanye kuya ngani pho bantwana bangambathi bantwana bancane ngiyambuta ukuthi bangaki uthi bathathu labantwana
okay
eminyaka uzalo umdzala nakamdzala una 5 years engithuse lenzaba ngathi no asiyilandzelele LinkedIn anginike cishe konke lokho kunene onke lama details wosuda uhamba ungenela ufike la makwakhona usebenta lapha babu yathi sebenta abagcoki labantwana kubuhlungu nyalebusika esikhumba semntwana umntwana ushesha gula cha siyilandzelele LinkedIn sihambe sifike kuleli khaya nasifika sikhanze kube nasisichalo lo sebenta ko lakhaya sichamukele kibo bantwana abakagcoki vele bantwana ba open basijabulele sawubona yebo bomshana bete bahlala nathi sicoca ngibude sisilo sebendawo kunjani singaphila athi chaza na hayi ngiyasida nje la khaya uphi ma kusengeke usayocupha siyethi chaza sitengana indzaba labantwana bakambathi ngani athi akati kumaka wala khaya abambathi vele sikhatsini lesinenge ayi confirm nana ngabambathi ngani bede intimbala athi banato ngibuke kedradini kunekiwe timbadla ngitibona impahla tebantwana ungani nathi tikhona athi cha leti tebantwana bami kugcina la gcina ngala sekunaleta abadzala vele kude tebantwana lebe tikhona bekuma top ngithi mina leni njengoba kumakhanda athi ngicela kungayideki kakhulu lengikwati ukuthi vele labantwana bagcoki lapha awumshayele lo make zowuve ngaye ukuthi leni athi ke ngisho kodwa ngeke ashayeleke licingo lishiye khona la nje Ngithi mina uphi baba wabo basesekanye kanye yini ngoba phela kuhlukubeteke komalungelo umntwana kumele usingawunje especially ebusika. Cha anginike nombolo yalo babe ngemshayele lo babe ngithi ye babe silakhaya la ngikhanza abantwana bakaqoqo tipi timbala asitimbala likhona ngathenga ngithi mina ngikhanza abangquna bakambathi nanyana athi hayi bayambatha abantwana ngiyabathengela uphuma kwabo hayi uletule emarket sicocekela licingweni sisaxoxa athi cha emsibe kangichazi ukuthi mina ngiyadisebenza ngingumeselana ngivuka kuseni ngabo 4 ngihamba ngibuye ebusuku ilanga zeliqwilile ngabo 7-8 nangibuya ngikhanza abantwana abagcokile mina lethi impahla ukuthi bangqunu ngiyadi cha aqinisekise kusakayadi sichubeke sicoce agcine endaza kuphahluka athi hey emsibi lesa ngikunakile ngasi labantwana bagcokisa sona sengidawubuya emsebentini bambathe
la mina bagcoki
nasuva le nkulumo yakhe ukuthi la mina bagcoki labantwana ngithi nginelicala lelo nitawubosha tandla letinyawo kodwa abantwana shothi abanako ukuqala sengasithinzanzane nikhona niyaphila wena uthi ukhona uyasebenza kodwa abantwana abagcoki uthi kona mina timbahla ngiyadithenga ngithi mina kayilungiswe lensaba hayi cha athembisa ukuthi cha utayilungisa utayidlala inzima yakhe aqinisekise ukuthi abantwana bayambatha ngenhlanhla leyo ashayele lo munye lo nalo make ukuthi hey ufike ekhaya afike vele ekhaya lo make asikhanze sikhona ngibabude nabasengafika bantwana anibathi ngani athi umntwana aside nibahla thina khuluma futhi ukhululekile niteleni imbahla wathishisa maka wathi shiselani angadi wathishisa nini ngathi athishisa na uthi kathi ushonini usho kulomnyaka lo athi haya kusiyelo kulomnyaka lo nite nibadla atsola sigcoke thina hayi engithosi inzaba lengithini
sukula January kuze kube nginyalo sola
bagqoka bantwana nakulo umuntu wekunene lo sithinzile ubabutile vele because uthite nangabe ucabanga ukuthi nginemanga wabathebula vele washo same thing wena ungafika ukuthi ivideo lephinziwe washo same thing wathi side timbadla tashiswa ngimanga wathisa nini katseni wafika washo lokho nakithi so uyafika lo make ngiyambuta bengisekuthi uqhamuka make loqatha mne kumbe lo sakhulile make nje sibili uqhamuka nzanga yami nami ngithi hawo yethathe lesibhuku lo sendala kulabantwana athi sibhuku sana abagcokuleni labantwana athi bagcokile ngithi nawo yesizwe shothe emehlo lama wabone ke manje ngiyayemehlo mina ngoba athi nanga ugcokela ngetulu ngaphansi akagcoka ngithi nanga lo mncane ke lo ngqunu abenzi unangaka iminyaka lo ukukhuluma lo komfanyana lokuncane futhi akuphenduli nalo nina ukuthi hayi ngikhaza adlanganise 2 eminyaka kule nyanga lesisuka kuyo April ngena lo ngqunu lomncane lekumele usingangena mbathila nakiyo athi yena hayi bantwana yena uyabambathisa kuphela nje abagcokela ngaphansi akabagcokisi la ngaphansi ngithi mina leni uthi bayatikhumula timbahla umgcokisa atikhumula umgcokisa cha kuphela maka ungumtali wena wenta njani umntwana nakenta nje athi ngente njani ngisana ngilo makabuta mina ngithi nangabe ke umntwana ketsatse wethu umpha kudla ale kudla kukhafula umphe kudla ubese wenta njani shodla umntwana ngeke asadla ngoba nje utawulamba ilanga lonke ngokukhafula kudla aze hayi ngidamshaya aze adle ngizohlulwa yini kwenta njalo baze bagcoke labantwana asichase ngidawubagcokisa but bowubona ukuthi leliphutha kaliboni yena liphutha la lendawo nalebuqala labendawo
yini sikunormal sikabafundi
kunormal nje kusabafuna ukugcoka uyabayekela ngithi make lungisani lenzaba kanzi ke bake bangichweba ukuthi vele ayi engazi labantwana bayahlukumedeka ngakho nje bathi labantwana abasitakale na athi yena hayi bantwana no so utawubagcokisa ngithi abagcokise labantwana because batawugula on top of konke batawugula labantwana asi wena ukuthathaphi ukuthi bantwana abagcoka ngithi akungenela ukuthi ngikuthathaphi make thina sidinzatheli sinendlela ekuthola inzaba sesiyitholile ngithi ngiphinza ngibude lo mntwana yemshana anigcoke ngani asitimbadla tashizwa ngimaka usho ukhona nana
uthini ke make ukuthi impahla utshiselana msiki
wathola ngithi wathisa nini uthi kaza athisa usho ukhona ngathi phikisa umntwana phela wathi hayi umntwana akakhuluma iqiniso ngathi maka umntwana kana maka kuyonakala la kuviolate amalungelo omntwana labantwana abancane lona kuthiwa una 5 weminyaka usecrash lo mlamako ngathi unabo 4 then songilolo na 2 years uyabona lokuthi vele kunenkinga lengithini I think sithe sesiyisebentile ke nizabo bathembisa ukuthi cha batawubagcokisa abantwana
ngase ke sesiyayithola ke ne feedback nase seyidlalela indzaba abantu bomakhelwane sebashaya incingo maye siyasita kusize ninake indzaba nabantwana bese simangele sibatha usitwa ngibani sesafa kubabona abantwana uzuzi lomunye badlala ngisho emgwaqweni nyalo umgwaqo ugreyithiwe uyashelela imoto tiyagijima labantwana batawulimala abanakwa ngumuntu bathi nisitile sithemba zokutawuba nemehluko
exactly bonke siyakhumbula ukuthi evikini leli ingase kuleli viki leli kube nemsebenzini lapha ka DPM libambe kuba ngu DPM asikumisa I program ekuthiwa ke bantu bethu foster care program ngifuna ukuthiwa msibi yakhona likhona le office lapha ka DPM nikhweni kulichweba kuseni kunenzaba lefana nalele ngibona balandzela ndzabade bantwana
angithi lengithini before ngiye kuleli khaya sengisayilandzelela lendzaba ngabachweba bathi wasita kusichweba ake sewuye utibonele mathupha ukuthi lesimo sinjalo yini kodwa usuphinza uyasithinza ngithiteke sengiyilitolo ngase ngiphinze ngiyabachweba ke ukuthi cha naku lengukhanzako naku lengukhanzako nangu lengukhanzako vele kunjengoba bangitshela ngabathinza ke bosonhlala kahle belovisi lephindandvu nankulu bathembisa ukuthi namhlanje bavukela khona bathi cane inombolo dale kuleli khaya ngabanika njengoba nami nginikiwe bathi batawuvukela khona lokho ngicabulileke lengithini ngoba umuntu nasabona sakusahambe kahle ushalivalo ube ushalivalo lo make nathi sitawuhamba manje msibi ngicela kubuta ngitawuboshwa yini kuleli sendo lesi ngathi akusesikwami lokho mina ngisiliphoyisa phasa kutawufika amaphoyisa la ngathi akusesiko kwami konke lo mina nje bengibeka nasimo ukuthi kuyagangeka la khaya
yeah and in the past sibonile vele office la DPM sidini ngizaba lo chamuke nato bese li office ngiyakhumbula nje nasasele emsakado zodwa Dlamini lethi bese bayagijima bathi sebene bakhumbula nje kunizaba abantwana bebavalele endlini nenzaba abantwana bebangamikiswa
edibhedlela bedeficate yeah
lo ungathi nje kutheni li office la DPM lithi ngadibona le ndzaba lisukume vele nje kwabasho sinamhla batawusukuma
kuyangithokozisa lengithini sibonile lo lishinjo luba khona kunebantwana lesi basetikolweni namhla kunebantwana lesi banemakhadi basebane certificate sebaya edibhedlela bayajoba lebe kwinto bebangayendi liyasukumela etulu vele na kunema situations ngoba ngetulo konke kumele kubonakala lo mthetho lobhalwe phansi lo wa 2012 Children and Welfare Protection Act ubonakala usebenta vele le nanabo bawusukumela etulu kungako bathi bangabona indzaba vele bafuna ukuqinisekisa kusukwendakalani bafike mathupha because vele ku jurisdiction yabo ukuthi bakusebente kuyinto lenhle ukuthi sengele office leliphuthumako nakunetimo lethi nje singazi silahlekelwe imphefumulo babe bakhona bathi umthetho ukhona kodwa bangabonakali bawusebenta kuyathokozisa ukuthi basukumele etulu ngaso sonke isikhathi nekuthi nje emagwabane nabo makhelwane nemango nakukhona lokungahambi kahle vele babone ukuthi hayi lokho akuhambi kahle ake senikulungise noma cause lokunye bayesaba ukuthi staw sekunyofika budlelwane bethu bomakhelwane noma sisive kodwa ke babone nabo ukuthi sitana akuhambi kahle la nako lokho ngicabanga ukuthi kuyancomeka emangweni nasemphakathini
Because 12 minutes before 7 ngiyana emsebenzi selebusakade besitaka nenzaba abantwana lapha hamba nje ngikunu kuthiwa ke labantwana bathanza itimpahla bona ke labantwana bathi itimpahla atashiswa makwabo msibi asima kakhulu ukuthi ube nathi namhla ekseni siyaphinza sikucele nangabe kunale indzaba lo indzaba yagogo solo
bengifuna kuyiteka sake sayiteka futhi asikayekeleli LinkedIn ngisayisebenta nje ngikhuluma nakuthandi lokho besolo siyisebenta kodwa ke ngicela kungakhulumi lokunengi kwamanje saze siyikhulumele emlilweni kodwa kukhona nemango awukahlali nekhona lohala lesilitholakala ukuthi umlo omdzala ungakuphi engasi lesekutholakele ususiwe vele ku emphakathini ngidathwa kavele izizweni angeke ngisho kusukuphi kwanyalo sitayikhulumela emlilweni kodwa ke basayisebenta start naseyivuthwe kahle sitaphunze sibuye siyiteke sesiyilandzele kahle sekuyateka ukuthi ukuphi kusamele nje kusukulandzelele umthetho ngoba into entiwa ngemthetho nangeliphepha kulokunengude ukuthi singakhanzi sesende kucala siye ngema emotions kulokunene sayisebenta nayo le tawutholakala gogo
nembala bongozi indzaba nje yagogo lesaka sayiteka lawo kavele izizweni lo walahleka kwaba khona ijali lithile nakhona kushaya emathambo limthole gogo usukuphi bongozi asibahloleke market estabena samukisizwe singakangena endzabeni tesibili talomhla ekseni
TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007 *3 hash and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you'll receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. Discover just how far you'll go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience in the kingdom.
In every difficulty lies an opportunity. Ukuthi sifune sifunze ukuthi ama opportunities akhona ngaphandle.
Lwathi likhulu lulangqondweni yami ngaphandle kwale ngqondo ngeke kutawonakala.
An idle mind is a devil's workshop. Lokusho ukuthi the more lengqondo uhleli uvuka ulale ubukela TV uphenze ubuye ulale igcina utawugcina soba tempted ukuthi ugcina wenda nemikhiba lengayi enkosini.
You do need ukuthi now ufuna something at a certain point of time uconnecte ndela nakhona ngemali yakho yabo ungarely kumuntu ube very independent. Bakhruva.
Umuntu omusha kuyakusita ukuthi ungadikhanzi uhlele ekhaya ude lokwendako.
Phande Stratini every Tuesday on Eswatini TV.
Welcome back selo sikulo luhlelo kusile breakfast show kungene sihlanu lesethemba sisolo niyathokoza kakhulu ukuhlalisana nathi umphathi wemaphoyisa amagwabane na indzaba lesolo ikhona inkundleni tekuxhumana uyayiteka ukuthi nalo lahla emhlanje ngileke lo nguthethe
exactly nanguthethe namsamkeliselo ukuthi angeke baze bayekele bangemaphoyisa lenzaba le batayisebenta endlela yakho ngoba kuvisana phhlungu sami kuthenini kube nemuntu lokhanza ukuthi uyaphuma ekhaya uphuma nemaphoyisa bese sekubuye umbiko lokuthi umuntu lo bese silimalela kasekho emhlabeni kube thine bemndeni semgcine athatha abantu bemthetho la sithemba khona ukuthi aba safe khona so sinelithemba elikhunje ukuthi nembala imphatho yemaphoyisa achaza dina abantu ayisebenda nabe kufune bajeze la bekungene vele bajeze ngoba I think nale kona kuphenya sibo baphenya ngitha nje ke nawe uyayibukela le video angathi usi authentic inceda ungenza ukuthi authenticity uthi vele ngemaphoyisa imbamba indawo but nje kushuthi kutholakala usivele angiyosa lethemba sinathi komntu aphinza sibidi athi uchaza sinaku vele sitfolile naku nani swade sebalitholile la kuphela
ikakhulu kade magwabane kude kutophela phela ukuthi sichubeke sithemba lefu silibeke kumbufo embubene sivi ngoba uyabona lokuthi nalala bathathe le video nabe bativela ukuthi shothi asikaphephe kandleni temaphoyisa siyafuna lokuthi sichubeke sibe bambule sibethamba kungathi nami nangabe khona imbothide ngikhona kubikela wona umbufo embubene sivi nanginemvole ngingakhona ukuyifola kahle nangabe kandleni temaphoyisa kutaba nemvole kaso kutaba likhulu magwabane singibike ebucala bangisa
sibuya kuma issues lebeselo swanakala konke outside the country le bo George Floyd nje ukuze kuba nale campaign ya yes abantu babekela utholo phansi kanjani into letifana naleti sa ngende akube abakakonti kanjalo lamaphoyisa lawa but nje le ndlela lomfule bekaphatheke ngayo vele ayisiyole kahle kanti phela ngicabanga mina kusingabe amaphoyisa afuna kunenza bafuna ukukhulumisa yona Tangicela nje nami ngihambe ngemaphoyiseni angikhulumise.
Kakhulu kade ngoba ubuka angumuntu bekangasuye lebeka singathi ngoba le video vele icala seyicala emkhathini ubuka umuntu abe lebeka ngawalisi lamaphoyisa. Uziyabuta athi engabe ngendeni.
Sethemba nje bonke ukuthi nje umphathi wamaphoyisa aphumile yachaza lo ukuthi cha naye amaphoyisa akusindlela emaphoyisa lekufuna aphathele nabantu lafuna ukuthi noma ayababopha noma entanjani but this is not indlela le right
noma ngabe kunelicala side lengisolelwa lona
akusindlela lekufuna ngiphatheke ngayo le ikakhulu kade ngoba samsise sibantu labanye ukwaba khona superintendent la sibuta lo ukuthi nanibuka sive iconfidence senayo ine emaphoyiseni washo start senayo sive confidence emaphoyiseni but dikhona akhona ke lawo ma black spots la khona lokubese ke njoba usho nje temintele tifana leti bese senese ngoba lamaphoyisa bese sesiwafaka bodolinye onke kanti uyakhanza ukuthi ngilawo nje la issue la ngamazambane labolile lekufuna bese yaklinika but nje bese sekubona lesithombe salombutho
kukuyawona kakhulu makwabana noma nawe ilalelisisa le video uva labamvu labalaceleni bayekhuda bapi bamva bethu uyabona ukuthi sekunekwe sabathide even nakulesive kanti amaphoyisa akufuni kube bamlesi besaba kumakwabana funa ukuthi noma ngabe kwentekane ngiyathi ithi ndakhona kuphonsa licingo ngathi bamvu bemthefo abantu kufanele sibangivikele edimensity
exactly bongo singo 4 minutes before 7 bese kanti yena indaba yemaphoyisa leso leyibobosa emphathi emaphoyisa nayo ukhiphe a statement eTolo senini cha indaba lena bangemaphoyisa batayisebenda indaba le bangahambisana nayo kuhle kubeteka kwebandla lekufuna abantu bavikeleke etandleni emaphoyisa sinethemba lelikhulu ukuthi emaphoyisa atayisebenda ifike emiyeleni sive nalo ukuthi ayisebendile asekwendekana
kuze letinhlitiyo temaswati makwabantu tophola so tophola sathi cha isebendekile ifike la kunanathi dinyathelo letithethe kuze kuthi nangakusasa nakwendeka anything so khona ukuthi cha umufe wembobe nesive
kukhona sambantu lekukhanze sibacelwa amaphoyisa akabacelele kuyobabopha abacelele nje usitoltol sita kunenzaba lethide incinci khona information bayifuna kimi but akwazi sinase kunje semntu awusaba nangishayela lephoyisa nje angifuni nje kusonza lephoyiseni nje ngoba utakhanza uthi sesisho ukuthi le njengalethi setenda lesingakhoni kwa assist emaphoyiseni zabeni utakhanza sincinci athi ngasisiwabambise kuze ngoba phela ngilona lo yiphoyisa ngithi
kunjalo makwabani kakhulu kade kuleti khathi leti lapho khona ukucala sesibona abanza people are missing bamfana bayalahleka uyabona sidimo lekufuna sivele sinase sisive khona imimango nisebenzisa
mina bongo singu 2 minutes before 7 but wait market sibeka thathanza abantu sibili talo mhlakusene watching the Friday edition of Kusile Breakfast Show.
Junior's mom, is everything okay? I am okay, but Junior feels hot since last night. Don't worry, just boil some herbs and he will be okay. I don't agree. We are talking about the life of a child. We must bring him to the hospital. Mum, the test was positive. The child has malaria. Give the medicine during 3 days according to the prescription. Did you understand? Yes, yes. During the COVID-19 pandemic, keep following all the preventative measures for the treatment of malaria. If you have a fever, seek a health centre. Always sleep under the treated net all year long. Help the health teams by opening your doors for spraying. Apidone is safe. SADC continues strong in the fight against malaria.
Tutu, kacera no mpana lo.
Babelo sezulwini ngisonzela kuwe ngosinana indodzana yami ilula sandla sakho Nkosi uyiphilise egameni lika Jesu Kristu amen.
Bukele anguvusele nkwamukele tindzabeni tesibili talomhla eksene ehlelweni Kusile Breakfast Show nasanza kulela umsakazo wakho bukele umsakazo etithombe Eswatini TV sisehlelweni Kusile Breakfast Show kanti ke singena endzabeni tesibili lomhla eksene ibito lami ngi-LinkedIn kule inkonzo yelwenyuko legujoke sonweni lesive kalobamba ihlanganise emakhola etinhlelo letahlukene kule nkonzo okuthandazelwe emakhosi nelive lancuselwa ukuthi ke linqobe tonke tinsaye yalelibhekene nato kanti ke emakhosi bekatsamelelwe ngumthandi inkosi lonkokhela
siyobheka thina siyobheka
Njalo ngemuva kwamalanga lange-40 sekugujwe inkonzo yokuvuka kwaJesu emakholo agubha lenye inkonzo lebalulekile lokuyinkonzo yokwenyuka kwakhe. Inkonzo lebalulekile lena enkolweni yeKristu njengobe kuyinkonzo lekhomba ukuthi Jesu nangemambala wawuphetha umsebenzi lebeka utele emhlabeni nekuthi wakuncoba kufa kuvuka kwakhe kwaphawula ukuthi utawujinga yaphile ingunaphakade. Amakholwa etinhlelo letahlukahlukene yasebenzise lenkonzo yabalithuba lekuthandazela live njengoba lisathi khotha emanceba emkhuhlane iCovid-19. Kule nkonzo emakhosi yelive bekamelelwe ngumfana enkosi lonkokhela kanti le nkonzo beyingenelwe nabantu abenkosi befundisi bethule tinshomayelo lebetinothile sibili kanti laba kube ngumake lungile nkomo umbishop Paul Shabangu nempostoli Madudu Mabuza. Inkundla ivulwe nguye make lungile nkomo loshumayela ngemphumela yokwenyuka kwakhe Jesu Kristu.
Kwenyuka kwaJesu ulandzela emagama kwekuthi kuphelele. Bese awuphelelisile umsebenzi lebeka utele emhlabeni. Kude nakunye lokwakumele akwende emhlabeni langazange akwende. Ngakho kwenyuka kwakhe kwakusho ukuthi sowuqedzile lokulebeka utele lapha emhlabeni.
Umbishop Paul Shabangu uyaleli bandla ukuthi lihambe ngemandla langiwo lekumandla lavela kuNkulunkulu njengoba lawo mandla angaphelelwa nasikhathi.
La mandla the power lokufanele wathole avela kumdali lo wadala tibane tekukhanyisa telizulu.
Kanzi umpostoli Madudu Mabuza uyale eMaswati ukuthi angawutsebesela umsalo wathola live laseSwatini kuNkulunkulu lowamisa ukuthi sive seMaswati sive lesikhethekile.
Nakatawutalwa Jesu kutalwa kwaJesu lesiye sikucelebrate 25 December bekungasilo lelilanga lekuqala wathi angakatalwa besavele safile wathi lethuneni wathi angakavule ethuneni uyesavele senyukele kwesokunene saNkulunkulu uyesabeka uyikhonyama wembethe amandla wambatha njengengubo usuka emaphakatheni emaphakatheni emehlo akhe avutha njengesidlwana emlonyeni yakhe kusuka imisebe lilanga uyabaneka umbane etandleni takhe kusuka imisebe lilanga tinwele takhe timhlophe tinjengangoqwana ingane lunyawo lwenti yakhe linyawo takhe lifana neligolide nelithuse ledlulise emlilweni elukhala lakho ubethe iqiniso wambatha kulunga nekwethembeka akanayo inkhohliso akasiphathanga isithunzi seguquka akasiyo yona inthothana yemuntu uNkulunkulu waphakathe uJehova sebawodwa thanini uyasabeka namhlanje ekuseni asimemete thanini uyasabeka uNkulunkulu uyasabeka.
Inkonzo ephethwe ngemthandazo loholwe ngumake emelile Gwebu lokuthi live alimesibinzi liqine njengoba esimakade utawulilwela alincobele angenelele nalapho sekukhanya ukuthi impi yaFaro ita ngemandla kumiswe onkeke emasu lwangahle yaphekwe ekumisa live kabi kwabiyelwa nawe emakhosi elive ngemthandazo kanjalo nalo lonke live jikelele netinkhalo talo lubika kwetindzabeni ngisandile makhanya esonweni lesive kalobamba.
Egameni lesilo semhlaba ingwenyama inkosi Mswati wesithathu lesabambe kuba ngoNdunankulu umhlonishwa Themba Masuku soyendulise umlayedo lokuya kuyo ingwenyama enkosini yelive leBesuthu inkosi Letsiye wesithathu kanti ke masuku uphinze waba nemhlangano nandunankulu welivele besuthu Dr. Mohesi Majoro lapho ke babambe inkulumo eqinisa buhlobo emkhathini kwalamave lamabili masuku kulela live le besuthu kuyawundulisa ke umlayedo lathunywe ngiwo emakhosi Induna lesabambeke kuba induna ye D70 nenhlala kahle epholele Shakhandu usike sekuneli committee leselibekiwe ngekomthetho even letawe ngamela imitholampilo yalabo labake basebenza emayini baphinzeke bahlole labo labasebenza emayini kuthi ke isimo sabo sempilo sinjani kuthi ke bakhona ukuncipheteleka emalini lesisikhwameni salabo ke labasebenza emayini eveleni eNingizimu Afrika
Kulandzela kukhala lokube khona inhlanganweni yalabo labake basebenta etimayini even labo makhelwane eNingizimu Afrika kuthi abanakekeleki kahle lobambe kuba indvuna yelitiko leti70 nenhlala kahle yato Pholile Shakhantu uthi hulumende wenda yonke imitamo yeqinisekisa ukuthi inhlala kahle yabo nalabo labasasebenta inakeka ngendlela lefanele
kuthi baclaim we know that there was a 5 billion settlement kule case lebeyikhona eSouth Africa kunemaswati ke la kumele a benefit kuleyo settlement sekwakhiwe ke isikhwama bahlonishwa lesingisona ke isikhwama emaswati atawubhadalwa kiso lesisakusebenza abahlonishwa kunelikomiti ke that we've just gazetted lelifaka ekhathi wona lama ex minors kanye nelitiko kulungisa clinics lekuwona kumele lama mine workers angene kuwo lama clinics bendiwe ama assessment bese lama reports ke sengibona ke la taw facilitator ukuthi bathole imali yabo iSouth Africa itawube ita eveni labo lababukele sikhwama uto accredit lama clinics ethu lenye kamanzini lenye ikahlathi but wa accredit ke once those clinics are accredited then lawo maswati ke sataw khona ukuthi athole ukunciphethiselwa kuleso sikhwama bangibekisele office ukuthi there's about 7,000 wemaswati that will likely benefit from that fund.
Indvuna iphinze yaveta ukuthi bashayeli bemaloli labakulela live labalinganiselwa ku5,000 nabo kuphepha kwabo hulumende ukuhambisa embili uthi litiko letangaphandle lokuliyaqinisekisa njengobe kulamalanga lihlele kubamba imihlangano kubukwe ukuthi bangasidakala kanjani Itindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla ngisezulwini
Zefania Ngambuli sophinzeke wakhetha ukuthi abe ngumeya welidolobha leMbabane likhethweni libanjelwe emahhovisi alo masipala kanti ke bekade acutshelene nalo lebekade angumeya kuleli dolobha Sikhumbuzo Dube
Njalo ngeminyaka emadolobha abanelikhetho lwameya lidolobha laseMbabane libe nalo likhetho ngalesithathu yentsambama lapho khona loyo lowake waba ngumeya eMahlandla Zefania Ngambule aphumelele ngemavoti lasithupha kanti Sikhumbuzo Dube lobe yangumeya eminyakeni lophelile uthole lamane lapho bekuvota emakhansela aseMbabane lalishumi Ngambule uthi asangena ehhovisi utawuqinisekisa ukuthi usebentela ukuthuthukisa impilo yetakhamuti delidolobha leMbabane
Bonga nje ukuthi kuhambe kahle wabathe emsindo kwakhethwa ngendlela efanele ngale nqubo yakhona kwendeka ukuthi umuntu waphumelele kodwa nje umuntu langakusho ukuthi sibheke ukuthi sisebenzisane neMbabane likakhulu siyathi ukuthi banemanxeba laba ngeCovid-19 kuyadinga ukuthi sibeketelelane ngoba lesimo lesi asikendluli endemthelela yaso iyabonakala ukuthi setawuthatha isikhathi so ke kufuna ukuthi iMbabane sisebenzisane nabantu sikhumbule ukuthi siyabadinga sibambisane nabo ngoba siyathi neCovid ayikendluli
Ngambule utawuhlala ehhovisi umnyaka munye Ngambule usuka esikhundleni sekuba lisekela la meya eminyakeni lophelile kubebede likhetho lwameya kuleli dolobha ngenxa yemkhuhlane iCovid-19 Sikhumbuzo Dube ubambe kuba ngumeya kusukela ngeminyaka wanga2019 kuya eminyakeni lophelile Itindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla nginamusi Mkhonda eMbabane
Umfundzi lo wenta tifundvo tekuba ngumbelekisi eNyuvesi yase Southern Africa Nazarene nomchele msibi kusatha ke bafundzi labasatha ucedza isikole ukuthi batingenele tifundvo tekuba babelekisi ikakhulukazi ngoba basashoda babelekisi lapha eveni kanti ke basingo lesikhulu
Nakugujwa lusuku lwebahlengikati ngalesibili kuleli viki, umfundzi lo wentatifundo tekubelekisa nomchele Msibi lofundza eNyuvesi yeSouthern Africa Nazarene University lobeka ingcenye yalo msebenzi uthi lakufundzile asenta letifundo kuletinye tetibhedlela kuleli kunakekela make kusukela aseta isibhedlela asetethwele ati ayobeleka solo anakekelwa kute umntfwana abelekwe aphilile namake aphile lekakhutsata abafundzi labenta tifundo tekubelekisa kutsi babe nenhlitiyo lutsandvo basenta lo msebenzi.
Kuyinjabulo kakhulu kubelekisa make umbelekise athole umfana lophilile nalo healthy nalo kahle kanjalo nakumake kuyinjabulo so si celebrate ema victories la kanjalo ukuthi elithubeni lengilitholile ngisesengumfundzi ngikhona ekuniketwa lithuba lokuthi ngingabelekisa ngingaphindze futhi ngiyende nalokunye ukuthi ngikhona ukuthi nginakekele bomake kanye nebamfana uma basesekhona emtholampilo noma lapho lababelekela khona ukuthi noma ngabe ngikuphi la chamuka nako make noma ngangikuphi la chamuka nako umfana nginikiwe lwati lengilidingako ukuthi ngikhona ukuthi ngimnakekele naye aphume ajabulile kanye nemfana wakhe. Kulosafuna nje kwenta le course lengiyendako imidwifery ngamkhuthatha kakhulu ukuthi i-course lenhle kakhulu, it is very amazing ikakhulu ngalokuthi esikolweni uniketwa lonke lwati lolidingako kude lokwenza ukuthi utimisele kude longeke ukhone ukwenda uma sowufika efieldini sowusebenta uyabona ukuthi kuhle kakhulu loniketwa kona seyakhona nokuapply.
Nomchele uthi la kubonile kushoda kwabahlengikati lekusikhala lekumele sivaleke kude kunciphe kusishiya emhlabeni kwemntwana namake uma abeleka. Etindzabeni namuhla kubika Giyani Msibi ngisembabane.
Umphathi wemaphoyisa William Dlamini uthi ke batayisebenza endzaba yemaphoyisa labonakala kulenye video ahlukubetha noma kaphasa kabi lomunye umsola lebekatama ke kumbopha emaphoyisa. Uthi ke noma ngabe umuntu ungumsola endzabeni letsithe kepha lena akusiyo indlela yokuphatha sive.
Kuleli viki kuvele titfombe letitfwebuliwe etinkundleni tekuchumana lapho khona kubonakala emaphoyisa ahlukumeta indvodza letsite. Umphathi wemaphoyisa William Dlamini sewusigcekile lesento wathi lamaphoyisa lakuletitfombe letitfwebuliwe abonakala sekalahlekelwa similo. Uthe emaphoyisa ayaceceshwa ngetindlela tekumelana netimo letilikhuna senda umsebenzi wawo. Dlamini uchubeka uthi baholi bembutho wembube abahambisani nani nekuhlukunyetwa kwesive nakusaliwa nebucala. Uthi lesento salamaphoyisa lakuletitfombe siphambene nemigomo yekusebenta kwembutho wembube nesive. Uthi sebavele basetikwayo indzaba yekuphenya ukuthi yini leyende ukuthi lamaphoyisa atiphathe ngalolu hlobo uma lolu phenyo seliphelile batawukwenda siciniseko sekuthi athathelwa tinyathelo letifanele. Dlamini uthi kusebenzisa imagama la yedletako imaphoyisa nakenda umsebenzi wawo akukho nani emgomeni wekusebenta kwabo. Ugcine ngekucwayisa imaphoyisa ukuthi awuyekele umkhuba wekusebenzisa imagama la yedletako kanye nelidlame yasasebenta nesive njengobe lokhu ngolokholela ekutheni sive singawathembi emaphoyisa. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Nelisiwe Nhlangamandla yembabane.
Nhlosoko yekwesekela emabhizinisi abantu labasha inhlangano lefundzisa bantfwana besikole ngetemabhizinisi Junior Achievement seyisukumiseke luhlelo lokwesekela abantu labasha ngemali kusukumisa imicondo lekhaliphile emabhizinisi abo. Ngikusho kwasi Phesihle Mkhonja lebukeka tekuchumana tekumaketha kule nkampani kwanyalo batawusekela abantu labasha labangamashumi-5.
Inhlangano lefundzisa abamfana besikolo ngetemabhizinisi i-Junior Achievement ibambisene nenhlangano yakamhlaba lebuketa indzaba telinani lebantfu emhlabeni i-UNFPA seyisukumise luhlelo lokusekela abantfu labasha ngelwati lwetemabhizinisi kanye nolusito lokusungula lawo mabhizinisi. Phesihle Mkhonja welihlangothi lotekumaketha nekuchumana enhlanganweni yaka-JA uthi kutawuba ngemabhizinisi lanebuciko labatawayisekela.
Sitoklomelisa labantwana ema startup capitals, so ema seed capitals for their businesses. UNFPA sisemkhankasweni wokuthi sisite umuntu lomusha mhlambe lo-1000 atikhanze asa exposed at inventable sexual reproductive but khanze sebangene kuma drugs, so si provide entrepreneurship thine kuvala lesikhala sekuthi umuntu lomusha ngathi khanza mhlambe seka abusekile ngendlela lethide. So le angel investor ke ibuka leyo component leyo ukuthi asite phela labantwana lesibatrain les junior achievement. Sine database ke vele lebuyele emuva kubo 2007 2008 nasicala ngiyo lesibuka kuyo ukuthi umuntu lomusha akavele phela mhlawumbe longakakhoni ke university longakakhoni kwenda anything nangabe unayo le business le innovative locabanga ukuthi futhi itawuba nelikusasa uyakhona ku-apply. Sifakile ke lama applications ethu ku social media bethu, uyayithola na website yethu. You can come to our offices nanyalo uthole ma forms uyigcwalise. I deadline yethu ngu-19 May. We are looking at 50 young people for this quarter labato khona ukuthi basitakale.
Ngekusho kwelihlelo lwemasu uhulumende lwalwethulile lokuvusa umnotfo bamfula basha bakha 37.5% wesive seMaswati. Lolu hlelo lolu lutawudlala inzima lebonakalako ekuthenini insha ikhone kutakhela amathuba emisebenzi. Etindzabeni kubika Sondomlangeni Titfombe Ngumuzi Mkhonda eMbabane.
Kuba betegesi sakhiweni senkundla yaseMoshane isikhathi lesingaba ngetulu kwenyanga sekwenda ukuthi imisebenzi yenkundla ime nalabo labasebenzela kule sakhiwo bangakhona ukuchubeka nemisebenzi yabo. Azeke indvuna yenkundla yaseMoshane nijel show ngokuthi sebayibike emahlandla lenzaba enkampanini yagesi kuleli.
Kusukela mhla tingamashumi enyanga yeNdlovulenkulu kulomnyaka losedulu sakhiwo semsebenzi yetandla lesiphinze sisetshenziswe inkundla yaseMoshane sanjelwa ngugesi ngetinsolo tekwebiwa kwelipipe noma ke tinsambo zide kulendzawo. Kodwa kube ngumanje solo kumnyama lesekuthonsisa kametima nabosomabhizinisi abancane lebasebentela kulesakhiwo kanti ke kungumanje basebenta ngama-generator ngoba ke kuyabadulela phinze ke sekumisenzi yonke imisebenzi yenkundla. Induna yenkundla eMoshane nijel shongwe ithi seyibike emahlandla lenzaba emagesini soloke nani kusitakala.
Base bayeta ngalo langa nabathi beta ngalo bafike balungisa kwakhanyelwa letakhamuti tethu letingephandle kwalesakhiwo sine zasale bumnyameni. Kwabethe ke izathu abasitshela ukuthi nineke senisala ngephandle nisalelani la kulesakhiwo lesinenkundla ngoba kude kunamhlanje kulesikwatiko. Ngaphinza futhi ngalithatha lethuba ngabiyela emagesini ngafike ngaseke sengicela ukukhuluma nemphathi bangilayela babemamba sahamba sakhuluma naye emagesini kwakumsombuluko leliveke liphelile. Wathi hayi shoke ngitawufika ngalesibili bo after lunch. Ngagatsa ke ngalesibili sagatsa sabona ilanga lishona. Kwaphinze futhi kwavela ilanga elilandzelako ngalesithathu athi kumbe umuntu omdzala ukhohliwe wangethi. Wavela lesine wangethi kwathi ngalesine sihamba ngabiyela emagesini ngithi asengiyohlola ukuthi ngabe kubambeni. Ngathi nasengifika ke base la reception noma base ba develop attitude ngathi kwase kwenteka base bangibuta ukuthi ngitokhuluma indzaba ethile athi lokho indzaba yagesi base indzaba yagesi tikhulunywa la kwangethusa ke mina lokho ukuthi hawu sesiyikhuluma amahlandla lamanyenti nabo lenzaba bangakhona ukungisida ngifikile nakuthandi lokho bangilayela umphathi ngabatshela yasichamne phela umphathi bekasidiki butawuta athi silungisa lenzaba bengithi ngidolandzelela lokho kepha ke sengiyabona ukuthi kude lengasidakala kawo nasenamhla senimendleleni ngase nje sengiyajika sengiyabashiya kunamhla lokho kude labake bakwenda.
Lokhulumela inkampani yemagesi ekhaya Mavuso simbuta ngalicingo ngalenzaba ucele ukuthi baphinze babuye bakhulumisane baphathe iref number lebanikwa yona lekwathiwa batawusebenta ngayo kusalungiswa lenzaba lekathi indvuna yenkundla atange sebanikwa leyo ref number. Mavuso uthi lokusolakala ukuthi kwebiwa babacacisela ukuthi kumele kuthengwa ngomnikati westandi noma ke uma ngabe sakhiwo sahulumende batshelwa ukuthi kumele bende njani akusiko ukuthi inkampani iyala kubakhanyisela. Etindzabeni kubika Giyani Msibingi eseMoshane.
Basikhombisa abantu lebatfolakele ukuthi banemkhuhlane COVID-19 emndobandoba eBig Ben kusukela ngemgcibelo kude kube ngomsombuluko kuleli viki. Kanti lokuvakele ngasabelo masuku lekungena kahola libandla lelihlola liphinze lilandzelele labo labanalo mkhuhlane elibonjeni.
Kulandzela imbiko yekuthi umkhuhlane weCovid-19 ungahle ubhedvuke kwesithathu, ibandla lelihlola liphinze lilandzelele labo labatfolakala abanemkhuhlane weCovid-19 elibonjeni seliqinise tinhlelo talo laphinze langeta netindzawo lapho sive sitawukhona kuhlola khona lo mkhuhlane. Lohola lelibandla sabelo masuku uthi basasebenta indzaba yekungeta tindzawo tekuhlola lo mkhuhlane esifundzeni letitawubaka lomahasha egedeni yemananga egedeni kanye nasesibhedlela saseBholi eBig Bend.
Manyalo nangasho nje ngemgcibelo mhla ka-8 May 21 sibene ne-positive case emndobandoba bekunenhlanganisela yemasayoni sabaskrini sathola munye emndobandoba. Kwathi ngelisonto mhla ka-9 May sabuyela futhi emndobandoba sesiyowenda nako lokuthiwa i-contact tracing yale one case lesiyithole ngayidoma. Isesente contact tracing ngelisonto savumbukana na 3 ngama-cases khona le Mndobandoba, 3 positive cases eMndobandoba. And one of the 3 cases bekungumfana esikolo lofunda eMndobandoba. Ke ngemsombuluko sathona savuka sabuyela eMndobandoba sethe i-contact tracing yalo 3 lesimthole ngelisonto. Savuka savumbukana na 3 more cases futhi ngalo msombuluko. Lo 3 cases bekungu-2 abothishela no. So 3 cases kulo 3 cases bekungathishela munye waseMndobandoba primary. So 2 abantu abesikolo namunye thishela khona le Mndobandoba primary. Lokusho ukuthi njenyalo between Saturday na Monday sibe na 7 cases eMndobandoba. So sisesawuqhubeka futhi sisebenze nabo. Lenye i-testing site lesesiyivule sesiyendile ise-KM3 for ama-international travelers. Indile nakhona kulungisela i-third wave.
Kulesifundza saselibonjeni sethi sihlanu tindzawo letikhona tekuhlola lo mkhuhlane kusesiphofaneni yesibhedlela yesiteki mathutane naka-Amical emaphiveni yetikhuba kanye nasesigubhe. Umbiko lokhishwe litiko letemphilo ngalesithathu eMaswati latfolakale yana lo mkhuhlane eveni yasihlanu kanti lasana lo mkhuhlane angu 18,492. Etindzabeni kubika Thembelihle Magutshwa Thombe tfolakale emakhasini angcondvomshina ngiselibonjeni.
Umphathi welidolobha lasenhlangana Apollo Maphalala uthi imigwaqo leyafakwa ehlelweni lokufakwa kwelitiyela ikhathi edolobheni seyivuliwe ngalokusemthethweni.
Lihhovisi lamasipala enhlangano lisemkhankasweni wekuthi yonke imigwaqo lengekhathi edolobheni ifakwe litiyela kude lidolobha lasenhlangano litothutfuka kundlondlobale nemabhizinisi. Umphathi waleli hhovisi Apollo Maphalala uthi ubonga sive lesibambise ikontraki namasipala kusafakwa litiyela. Maphalala ucele sive ukuthi sichubeke sibeketele kwekugcina njengoba umsebenzi usengakapheli kunemgwaqo wekugcina losasenjedwa.
Lemigwaqo beyimine enqumalo njengalobo usho. Lemithathu yawo seyivuliwe lokuthi imoto tihambe kuyo. Lona munye losele enqumalo nginangwase lesithi thina ngumshengo losuka la ngase bo building society nabo KFC wehla ushona lenda senkandolo. Wona ke uya na umgwaqo leswati losibosonakele cishe kakhulu. Une mininimane leminingi wona la ngoba kunabo gas kunemandi kunayo yonke into lekhona akhathe emgwaqweni. Manje ke usihambela kancane ke khona ngoba vele kusasetshenzwa lokuthi sisiusebenta lo mgwaqo kodwa amakhasimende abo water na EEC angaphazamiseki.
Maphalala unxuse bosomabhizinisi ukuthi sale bampenda atakhiwo tabo uthi abangasakhathateki njengoba luthulise ngeke libangcolisele. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Sifiso Nxumalo ngisenhlangano edolobheni.
Sihlalo inhlangano ebanikati betinqola letithusa sive silangihlabathi sewundluliseke iqolisa isiveni ngemsindo lebe ukhona luthinze labaqhuba ngetinqola letithwala sive. Hlabathi futhi timotolo letitawula isha estation letifaka ekhasi esibhedlela se-RFM kutawuba nguleto letinemvumo kuphela. Azike bongosi asidlulele kuleto temidlalo. Likhathelo lesive lemidlalo wematubane lemanda 20 selibhekisa ke babomba event laseBotswana ngalosine kuleli viki kungenela ke imidlalo yema-National Championship yaseveni leBotswana ngemgcibelo. Umqeqeshi welikhathelo Muzi Mabuza uthi ke kungenela le midlalo kutaba sita kakhulu badlali kusike lizinga labo kulo mdlalo liphakame njengoba kutabe kuweqala bamelela live emidlalweni yangaphandle.
Ikhathelo lemidlalo wematubane ke lema-under 20 ke selibhekise emabomba eveni leBotswana ke lapho khona ke batawungenela imidlalo yema-National Championships yakhona ke eBotswana letawudlalwa ngemgcibelo kuleli viki. Umqeqeshi welicembu ke Muzi Mabuza uthi leli lithuba ke lekumelela live lelitawusita ke labadlali labancane ke ukuthi bakhulise izinga labo kulomdlalo.
So these guys are all under 20 and they've been training together for the past 2 years. So now we're giving them the opportunity to go and start on the long-term journey. So this is their first international competition that they're going to go to, and we hope they are going to learn a lot from it. and I'm sure they are looking forward to it. And as a federation and myself as a coach, I'm looking forward to gauge them against the international big name.
Labadlali labaneke labahambile ngilihle Gininza, Ayanda Malaza, Menzi Msibi kanye naMenzi Mbingo. Menzi Msibi ke lokhulumela iqembu yachaza ngenjabulo labanayo kubelela live.
Kuleli thuba leli into lenkulu kakhulu kids because kusiniketa i-preparation bona nasikuze isitubonise isigubhu against bantu labangekho local because nasiye Kenya siyabe sikhompyutha nebantu laba from other countries, so ngicabanga siloko lithuba lelihle kakhulu lokusistivete nathi ukuthi sikuphi if against bantu laba outside.
Kanzi ngakulokunye leli qembu litawuhamba nengijimi lenkulu yalelive Phumlile Nzinisa lona yeke umenyiwe kule midlalo.
Lokho ngicabanga ukuthi kuthangisita ukuthi ngibe nesikhathi lesibetha for lama national champs Eswatini national champs and then plus ema African senior champs and then siqhubekele sekuma Olympics. Ngicabanga lokho kuthangisita kakhulu.
Kanzi Sibusiso Swazibholt Mathenjwa lokhomba kudlala kahle ke kulamalanga yena ukuthi awubhekise amabombe eveni laseZambia ngalesihlanu lapho khona ke naye umenyiwe kule midlalo ema-national championships yakhona. Lobikela umsakazo weSwatini TV kutemidlalo ngilinda Dlamini ana Fabrice Msonera.
Ngalethi temidlalo bongosisi bamba lapha ke nzabade sibili dlalo mhla ekseni sibathe ukuthi market siyabuya siyachubeka nalo hlelo.
My name is Eswatini.
It's your boy DJ Stunner. aka B-Easy. Catch me and the gang on a brand new show.
On a brand new show.
A hot new show for Studio One, where we cover everything entertainment, everything music.
I'm going to be doing the news aspect specifically.
I'll be dealing with the hottest videos for the week. I'm going to be on the cozy couch, hosting all the guests that we have on the show.
See you every Saturday at 6 p.m.
on Eswatini TV. Studio One. Studio One.
Studio One.
Tutu, nkatera ngampana lo.
Babelo sezulwini ngisonzela kuwe ngosinana indodzana yami elula sandla sakho Nkosi uyiphilise egameni lika Jesu Kristu amen.
Your favorite music show is back. We're bringing you the hottest music videos and live studio interviews with your favorite celebrities. We're giving you a front row seat to the latest fashion trends as well as your weekend gig guide. Join us live on social media and call in to send in your shout-outs. Catch This Weekend Eswatini every Friday at 5:30 p.m. live on Eswatini TV.
Malanga lamahle, welcome back. So lesiqhubeka nalo luhlelo Kusile breakfast show kunguye lesihlanu sethembisile silomuhle, we're taking things nice and slow njengoba kunguye lesihlanu sethembisile silesikhathi lesi sizabe sinawo umbhali wethu Nothile Nkambule all the way from Siphofaneni. So Nothile ke sosebenzela incwadi yakhe yesithafu at this moment uyeqala yakhe uyipublish ngomnyaka wa 2016 lena sokhuluma ngayo kabanti lomuhla lethi Nyeti the Becoming. She's just too visionary and her imagination is just something else. Hello, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much, Sissy. Thank you for having me.
Let's just start. When do you first realize that you can write?
I can't really pinpoint the exact moment, but I've always loved reading. And I think it got to a point where I have this thing where angifuni ukuhlulwa yini. So I was like, no man, let me write my own story my own way. But I was writing for fun, and when COVID happened, I was like, you know what, let me just release this into the world, and let's see how it goes. And it's been going well thus far. Yeah.
Now, like I was saying, your imagination is something else.
I know.
There's supernatural powers, there's magic. Just imagine, let's just talk about
there's crime.
Yeah, there's crime. There's just everything in the book.
Yeah.
Let's just get into it. Nyeti, how did you come up with the idea?
You know, Nyeti is a collection of my own life experiences. I won't say which ones in the book my life experiences, but it was a collection of my life experiences. Even though exaggerated some of them, artistic license. But it was basically me envisioning a different childhood and coming of age story for a Swazi young woman. And I was like, well, I'm interested in crime. I'm interested in that. Let me find a way to tie these things together. But at the very core, for me, Nyeti is about being what you wish you were when you were younger. I'm sure you also have things where you wish you were braver, you wish you were more adventurous, you wish you were more daring. So I'm trying to give
at this moment I wish I was Nyeti.
I do too. Sometimes I'm like, damn girl, I wish I was you. But yeah, so it's a blown up reimagination of my childhood, basically.
So how did you just come about with the characters? Nyeti, there's Nyeti, there's Mafu. You know, how did you come up with those characters?
Okay, it's funny because well, Nyeti, like I said, is inspired by me and amongst many other people's experiences, but the trio that's in the book, I've always wanted a very close sisterhood. You know, the kind of sisterhood where people are like, my sister is my best friend.
No.
You also, you know. I also don't have that experience, and I've always wanted to be like, oh, my sister's my best friend. So that's how I came up with Mafu and Nyanga, who are her friends in the book, and they are basically her adopted sisters. Temba is definitely the stereotypical patriarchal king that exists in all African nations. I'm sure as a woman you can sort of
that is a
I'm sure when you're reading you're like, I'm Temba kelo. No one can tell you this is Temba, you know. But I wanted the book to be woman driven, which is why, in as much as in the beginning it looks like Temba is an important character, towards the end you learn that he's not really as important as he seems. Yeah.
And then for somebody who doesn't know the book, so now say somebody who doesn't know the book, I think Nyeti, Nyeti.
Okay, so Nyeti is a young woman who's an orphan, starts off as an orphan, but her life is turned upside up. I like saying that instead of upside down, upside up, when she realizes that she's got a bigger purpose than just being a child who was rejected, and that everything that happened in her life had a purpose. And who I'm trying to communicate to with Nyeti is people who feel like, oh, mina ngalahlwa, you know, oh, mina makwangilahla, oh, ngite loku, exactly, only to find that there is something inside you. It is scary to try and adopt a certain life or calling or purpose. Personally, I can attest to that, but gumqoka to be able to embrace what you were created to be. So that's what I'm trying to communicate to myself, to any young woman out there who feels like, maybe I'm not good enough. There's no way you are not good enough.
We all have Nyetis inside us.
We are all Nyetis inside us. We are all kick-ass Nyetis inside us. Yeah.
And then and then good say some sort of a research lokufanele ukuthi uyende, because lana sikhuluma nge-magic.
Yeah.
Sikhuluma ngekuthi so staring Nyeti so
yes.
Like Nyeti so yarefika, Nyeti so just an angel of justice.
Yeah. Okay, so justice. I like that. It wasn't that hard. Okay, my whole life was basically my research in terms of that aspect of it. I am a child born out of 2 traditional healers.
Okay.
So traditional magic, as some people would call it, is something that I was born into, like literally born into. It's the only life that I know. So my whole childhood was research. And it took me a while to be comfortable to even say that in public, because, you know, people still feel otherwise. They're like, oh, you know, everyone's like, oh, no. I was like, okay, no. And I got to a point where I'm like, it is who I am, it is what I am, and I'm proud of it. And it's okay, whatever they want to think. But what's important is I can never weigh what I know for a fact against what you assume. So what I was trying to do is put that in it's a running theme throughout the whole book, in terms of there is a spiritual world that does exist, and it's not all for bad. And it isn't something to shy away from. So I was just like, I'm going to put this in your face, and you're going to read it, and you're going to know about it, and you cannot deny it. And that's Gugu, but Nyeti is here, Kusile is here, and I'm not the only one who's had that experience, but I'm definitely not going to be the one who shies away from owning who I am. Yeah.
In the sort of research then, because I'm sure some parts okay, no, let me just get out of my comfort zone now. I think some of other things that maybe won't get to my book.
Yes, definitely. I think I wouldn't say governmental part of it, but like the institution, how institutions are run, institutions that collect intel or information or things of that nature. So I didn't want it to be like just a flimsy type of writing in the book. I wanted to give it gravitas. I wanted people who work in those industries to be able to say, okay, that is how we work, you know. So that I definitely did. One of my favorite writers is David Baldacci, and he writes mostly about conspiracy theories and things of that nature. So I read a lot of his books to kind of get the tone, and then I tried to Swazify it to a way that makes sense for us as Swazis. And I actually picked a location that does exist for the agency, but there's nothing there. And if something is created there one day, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I picked an exact location. I want it to be as real, but as relatable as possible. Yeah.
Because even now phones, it's easy to read. You can relate it. There's this place.
Yes.
At least kuna nyeti, kuna mafu, kuna nyanga.
Kuna matapa. You know, it's those are places. Now we don't feel kona logo waphila kito. So I was really trying to be as Swazi as possible with writing the story.
I love the way you introduced Inzaba ye GBV on how, let's just get into that. My issues around GBV, on how you introduce them to your book. They're like supernatural powers and all that. At the same time, you are introducing an issue like kona ku society.
Yes. It was important for me that if there was going to be some sort of avenged storyline, that it was justified. And I wanted the issues to be issues that we deal with on a daily gangwani, not issues that are just, I wasn't going to talk about the paparazzi, things we do not have. But unfortunately, GBV is a Swazi staple. It just seems like we can't get to a place where we are cleansing ourselves of whatever violence or aggression that exists within us. So I wanted to introduce that and sort of give some sort of power. You know, one thing that somebody who read the book said to me was, you know, I like how Nyeti was brave enough to do this, because I wasn't. And I was like, I really truly wanted to give the people in the book the strength that everybody wishes they had when they were in that situation. I'm sure now you've been through things where you're like,
exactly.
Why did I just let that happen? Yeah. Why did I just sit there and not say anything or do anything? So I was trying to give that sort of power in the book to say, imagine a world where you'd be able to fight back, or somebody is able to fight for you. Yes. Yeah.
It wasn't hard to come up with the names Nyanga, Nyeti, and Mafu.
Okay, so Nyeti is short for Inkanyeti. And that literally came to me in a dream. So it literally came like, and I was like, I'm not taking any other name. Mafu is a name that I took from a friend of mine. He had a child named Mafu. That's one thing I do with both books, that when you're around me, at some point I will use your name in the book. But I do send out a disclaimer before, like, okay, so you are in the book. So I like doing like little touches like that because it reminds me of where I was personally when I was writing that book. Inyanga is a slick way of just saying Inyanga. I'm putting it in there regardless. Yeah. So that wasn't so hard to do.
So one of the hardest scenes to write here. I get the idea that you are used to supernatural and all that, but a scene was hard for you to write.
I would say that there is a rape scene. There are two scenes. There's an attempted rape scene, but there's like a rape scene in the book. That for me was the hardest one to write. I just have an internal fight in terms of trying to write it in a way where it's part of the story and makes sense for the story, and just writing it because you just putting something dramatic in a book. So I didn't want it to come across that way because there was a purpose for it. But I will say, even when I read the book back, I definitely skip that part. I definitely skip that part. I know I wrote it, but I definitely skip it. It was definitely the hardest one to write because I wanted to be intentional in terms of being very vivid and descriptive, and that made sense for the book. But personally, I don't always have the strength, so I just always skip it. Like I always skip it. I know it's there, but I always skip it. And I like giving little disclaimers in terms of other people, like trigger warning. There are certain scenes in the book because I'm not trying to trigger you, but it was necessary for the story. Yes.
You said this book is for every woman out there. I need strength. I need to move along. This book.
Okay. The other group is a group that I feel like I was khuluming that much, and it's the idea of foster parenting. Kids that do not have biological parents. I do have a friend who's adopted, and it's in Swaziland. I don't think we talk about that a lot because umfana wethu sonke, so good adoption per se, like umfana mzala, umfana gogo, sonke sikhuliswa ngumndeni, but there is an element of sikhala lesibakhona, not having your biological parents stick around, and I think we overlook what that does to umuntu as they grow up. Would say, well, is anybody ever going to accept me if the person who brought me into the world was just like, hey, this is
like Neti was saying, would say, I'm used to losing people. Yes. I'm not used to people waiting for me.
Exactly. And that's
important to someone.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. Like, this is why people get dogs as pets or cats. There's an animal like wagging its tail. Everybody wants to feel waited on and important. Somebody noticed I was gone. And I think when your first rejection is from someone who labored to bring you into the world, and even through all that pain,
something to you.
Exactly. They were like, it's a no for me. But so I wanted that group of people to feel like you are not being ungrateful. To say, yebo, nkulisiwe, I have everything that I need, I'm provided for, but uneskhala inside me. So that's a group of people that I wanted to represent. And I hope I did it well because I don't have that experience personally, but I was just like, you are, just because whatever circumstances led to you being rejected or discarded or whatever the case may be, you have feelings and you matter. You matter.
Okay. Yeah. What comes to you first? The plot or the characters? I'm sure the characters. I'm sure Nyeti was kind of the guy.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm writing a book about Nyeti. I'll find out what it is later. The characters come to me first. And if I get a name, then I want to build the story that is related to the name. You know how in Eswatini it said like if you're not Kusile, I'm still waiting for not for that. Yeah. But imagine being broke and being called not Kusile. It's a lot. But so I start that way, and then I'm like, let me build a plot that aligns with that name and who I think the character should be. I know it's usually the other way around, but I can't write a story about a nameless person.
Somebody you don't even know.
Yeah, like I can't compute it that way. So definitely the characters first for me. Yeah.
So, ngasho ukuthi your second book.
Yeah.
Say Philip Mil.
Yes.
So your second book, Ipumile. Tell me about it.
Okay, so the second book is called Temansele, Making the Team. And I published it I think it's 2 months after I published Nyeti. And people don't understand what's happening. But I've been writing my whole life. I've been writing my whole life.
So you wrote Nyeti in 2016, Wambega?
Yes, and because I was writing it for myself. I was entertaining myself. I was I'm just writing for myself.
Supernatural powers.
I was just because at that point I wasn't sure I'm comfortable with owning certain things. And then it got to COVID. I'm like, okay, you know what? We don't have much time. So let me just it is what it is. But Temansele is I like saying this, and I'm sorry to say it, but she is my favorite, and I'm gonna I love Nyeti. Nyeti is my first, and your first will always be special. But Temansele to me was more fun to write. I'm proud of the fact that it's a romance story, and anybody that knows me wouldn't describe me as somebody who has a lot of romance in their DNA. So I was proud that I was able to write a romance story, even though it's a complicated romance story, but it's still romance. It's about a young woman in her late 20s, uhlala eMbabane, and she finds love, and it requires her to sacrifice a lot of things, including parts of who she is. And she's met with a decision, do I choose myself or do I choose love? And for me, I'm trying to question the whole idea of love never asks us to sacrifice anything. I don't think that's true. I may be wrong, but I think there's always some sort of yourself that you need to kind of either subdue or figure out a different way of doing. But we follow her, and it well, in true Notila style, it turns into crime, murder in the streets of Mbabane. So yeah, there's crime there.
So who love it? So every woman wants uthambo.
Yeah. So it's funny because when I was writing it, I was like, it's a romance story. And then I gave it to my sample group, because you need to have a sample group before you publish a book, just to get people's ideas. And one of the ladies I gave it to was very upset. She was upset because to her, love is just very morally sound and straight and black and white. And Temansele's story is anything but. So I'm finding out that maybe she's better suited for people who have had to fight or didn't have a straight and clear and clean path to finding love. But I think any woman who's been in a moment where she had to lie to her friends to save the integrity of the person Lanae, or choosing the person Lanae over the friends or family, or we all like to think I would never. But clearly somebody is doing those things. And so there are a lot of Temansele. I'm getting the sense that a lot of Swazi women are going to read the book in private and not tell me, but it's okay. It's okay.
We know.
It's okay as long as you read it. It's okay. Yeah.
So what beliefs lebo before uqale kubhala ngithinza ina Temansele ngithinza even Nyeti as well. Lo bese ayashintsha naso ubhalile your book. Ngikhuluma ngithi ubese uya research, get into your character's head. Ngaphi some of the beliefs bese ayashintsha?
Okay, for me, yes, I do. There has been moments where I'm like, okay, maybe I that's different than what I thought it was going to be. I will say that Temansele the most. I think maybe because I wrote Temansele when I was older than I wrote Nyeti. But it's again the whole love thing. I call it a thing because I'm trying to figure it out. But one of the most important things that shifted for me is that by nature I'm a very defensive person. So I'm a Puma Silwe. I'm a Puma Silwe normally, but one thing that definitely changed for me is learning that being defensive is not the pathway to love. Apparently, you have to be vulnerable and open.
Yeah, you just have to let go.
Yeah. So I was just like, because for me, I felt like, well, I'm defensive. I get it. I have reasons to be, but love will find you regardless. And I'm learning that no, you have to do like internal work and actually trust people, which gives me high blood pressure. But I'm learning, so I'm trying to practice those things. So I am learning from my characters. Just more than anything, it's love for me, because that has always been the one side of love of life that I struggle with the most with understanding. But yeah,
with a person no visionary and imaginary like you.
I know, right? But that's the problem, though. I'm so imaginative and visionary. I'm imagining all the worst things that could happen. So
like you turned love into crime.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Oh goodness. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know what happens, but really it just starts as a beautiful love story, and something takes in me, and I'm like, let's put some crime in this. I think let's just sprinkle some crime in this. But I mean, yeah, I'm working on it.
Would you like to take your book Nyeti and Masele and turn it into some sort of a movie or something, and for people to watch?
I love that. I love that question. It's almost as if you live in my head. So Nyeti is a 3-part series. I just released the first part, but Nyeti I definitely would love to turn into maybe a 6-part series. Definitely. It's actually in my vision board that I haven't showed to anybody. So I don't know how you got that question.
I have buttons that you usually have.
But yeah, definitely would love for Nyeti to turn into that. Yeah, not so much Demansele, because I do think there's enough of that kind of content in the movie world, or series world.
What is your writing space like? Do you have music around? What helps you focus and say, I'm just writing? You told me in a period of a year, 2016, just like that.
Yeah. So my space is from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m.
Okay.
When other people are asleep, that's the best time for me. That is the best time for me, when the world is just quiet and all I'm hearing are chickens and birds. So that quiet, something to drink, not necessarily music, because I get a little bit distracted that way. Just quiet nature noises and something to drink, and I just sit there and I write. But for me, I'm gonna be honest, writing is not hard in terms of I'm not going to
so for you it's not exhausting.
I'm enjoying it. It's not like it's not something where I think, oh jeez, that's meaning a chapter. Like, I'm literally sitting there swaying in my chair and then it is having the time of my life. I'm just there, like, and my imagination is going all over the place, and the chapters never go where I thought they were gonna go. That's one thing I have to be honest. I start and I'm like, oh, this chapter's gonna be about this, and then at the end I'm like, wow, that went different, but I like it that way, organically writing. So yeah, quiet, other people are asleep, dark, that's it. that's my entire feng shui, should I say, when I'm writing my stories.
Did you have to kill a character? Now your first draft and along the way, so your publisher like, no, let me just remove this character.
Yeah, okay. With Nyeti, no, I didn't kill any characters, like in terms of not putting them in the book, but I did kill a character in the book, because it was for the story. But sometimes you do get moments as you are writing where you feel like, I think I've just had enough of this character, and you're just like, if there's nowhere else to go from here, and it makes no sense to drag it when you can give other characters content or time and space. So I definitely have killed a character sometimes just purely from like, it's enough now.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, but yeah, killing characters isn't easy. It isn't easy, but because you want to make the death something that's meaningful, and not just that, oh, he woke up and he died, because you're tired. So even when you're tired, you still have to make the death meaningful. Yeah.
You're working on that book now?
Yes, I am. Oh, absolutely not. Oh, okay. Actually, I can give one thing, and it's one word: yellow.
Yellow.
That's
Wow.
literally all I'm giving
It's
on
not
that book.
helping at all. Anyways, you said the youth are the engine of the world.
Yeah.
What can you say kumuntu lomusha at this moment lobukelako and uzikubhala is not hard. Lofuna ukuthi naye kusasa within nje a year keeping notes. Following year. Speaking on the third one, what can you say kumuntu lomusha who wants to write?
Okay. I mean, to aspiring writers, first I'd like to say be you. So just because Nosile doesn't have a hard time writing doesn't mean good if you have a hard time you're not a good writer. Just because it takes you 10 years to write one book doesn't mean you're not a good writer. So that's first things first, be yourself. And then also thirdly, find out if you actually want to write. I mean, like, in as much as I enjoy writing, publishing, there's just a lot that goes into it that you just be sure this is what you want to do. Not because my rep career is not going well, then I'm just going to write. Or my modeling career, it's not a just by the way thing. Absolutely not. And also thirdly, whatever story you choose to put there, remember that it's going to be out there forever. And you're going to have conversations about it for a very, very long time. So make sure it is something that you actually want to touch on, and you won't be getting upset when people ask you questions 5 years later about it. And lastly, get out of the idea of needing, well, the government has to do this. There are so many ways to self-publish. There are so many ways to do this yourself. Or you need to get on the internet and learn and ask questions. There's no stupid question. But get out of the idea of somebody has to come and assist you with, like, there are red tapes, find a way. If you are a writer, you're creative enough to find a way to do this by yourself. Okay, on Amazon, Kindle. I'm still working on hard copies for Demansele as well, but please, Maswatla Matle, as joile ebooks. Let's save the planet. So it's on Amazon. You just search for Nyeti or Demansele, or you can search by author, Notile Ngambole. It's pretty easy to find. Yeah.
Nansila, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And good luck on your yellow book.
Yes.
One.
Thank you, sis.
Malanga namahle nginothile Nkambule umbhali wedincwadi sengasho sileti nthaphu already. So kulesikhathi samanje savele siya ititolo sibe laphetha luhlelo Kusile. Good morning.
In order to bring to life and to defeat and overcome the ongoing global pandemic coronavirus, food with a balanced diet plays a vital role. Eswatini TV brings to you a fresh season of Kudla Kwempilo to see how our farmers bring food to the nation, the challenges our farmers are facing in this pandemic, the struggle, the fight, the national lockdown, the intervention from the government to help our local farmers. Watch this first season of Kudla Kwempilo on Eswatini TV. Learn, be advised, and be inspired by local farmers and how they are making great changes in this era of COVID-19. Kudla Kwempilo, food for life.
Bukose siyalephetha ke hlelo la lomhla ekseni sibuya kuyelo interview na Nothile la benginilalela manje sengilokuthi I cannot relate le nto kuma le anthi mina ngale emakhaya yabona so ke ufuna sengithole incwadi ngilofunza nami ngilokhola ngoba but ngimvana ngathi uthi labo 1 am bamse ngoba nami nga 1 am ngisuke ngibuka nethi kude ngisuke ngikwenda
shooting 1 am ke nawe lanza le
phepha yo 1 am ngisuke Prongs ngisaba lokubhutsa. Singisale ngivuka nje ngihlale.
Yebo.
Yakhanza usencinci ngabhala.
Ncinci ungabhala uyikhipha
la. Yo, yathi senzama. Ncinci ngabhala.
Umtshela kuchushisa.
Yo ngibuka lo usinangicimete nje ngibuka ukuthi bicycle le ngibona.
Yeah, ubonani ukuthatha ukubuyise phansi.
But ngicabanga ngingafuna ngibhale ngabo maguqu nabo John Beso.
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah.
Ngilethele la sikufunde.
Uyini maguqu.
Malanga lamahlebezelo uhlelo Kusile Breakfast Show kunguye ngelesihlanu. It's been a wonderful week. Sethemba ukuthi malanga lamahle nithokote kakhulu ukuhlalisana nathi kunenge lenikufunzile nasi kunenge lesikufunzile khona ehlelweni. Sinifisela impela sondo lenhle nalemnanzi nalephephile nisale kahle.